general.
guy.
That's not relevant to the debate because the point you're making an ad hominem.
That's not an ad
point.
hominem, dude. We're talking about global white supremacy. You were a victim of global white supremacy.
I'm talking about,
you had to flee to come over here to Black Daddy.
You
had to flee to us.
I'm talking about America.
So
I'm about America. I don't give a fuck about anywhere else. I'm talking about America.
And you have a lane to come over here because of foundational Black Americans, sir. We fought racism to help you get here, sir.
Okay. Anyway.
And that's literally what I was saying earlier, bro. Like we gave you, like we created a pathway for you to come over here, you know what I mean, and establish yourself, you know what I mean? And you talking shit about us, but I don't know.
Like I was saying, in 2024, there is nothing holding back Black people from success.
Saying that over and over doesn't make it true. You don't have to say that over and over. Because if that's your argument, then you tap out. You don't have an argument.
What's good, Ronin, bro? What's up, man?
What's going on, man? Sorry about that. I'm multitasking over here real quick, but getting ready for next week's lives. Hold on.
All
right.
You just saying the same lie.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. So, what exactly do you think about this situation? Because I'm not the most politically educated person. You know what I mean? I know you've been in the military, so I know you're more educated on this topic than I am. So, what do you think about this debate that they had?
I mean, specifically on what the argument is right now, because they haven't really gotten into it. There's so much fluff going around between all the different factions that are sitting on this podcast. Tariq is holding his own against all of them. The BRICS argument is stupid. I mean, that's been dead on arrival. And whoever said about Kenya switching off the dollar, what did they switch it to? Some other British pound or something like that? Because there is no such thing as a BRICS anything. There is no dollar bill official currency for BRICS. So the fact that Kenya got off a U.S. currency doesn't make any sense, because U.S. currency is still the most reliable currency in the world. Yeah. So the fact that these people are sitting out here throwing out this false news about how BRICS is going to save them, they all signed an agreement, but there hasn't gone any further than that. And the reason why it will never go any further than that is the world overall as a whole, not just these few countries that have a grievance against the U.S., like you were saying, that have something against the U.S. and why they would switch over to a BRICS type of currency. The world overall as a whole has to be able to rely on that currency being stable.
Yeah.
Of the BRICS nations, which country do you think is stable enough and reliable enough for all the world to want to jump on board as an international currency? Not one. Not one. Not China, not Russia, not none of them. They're not big enough. They don't have enough GDP to back the dollar or whatever currency they're going to use. So there is no reliable, stable currency beside the U.S. right now that will ever run on an international trade market. Sorry, give up on that.
What country do you think is like the number one candidate, for that role, I should say?
Currently, there isn't one because of our GDP being so high. And you can run the numbers on this. Somebody can Google it. Look at the nation's GDP. Once they got off of the gold standard, okay, gold standard was up until about the 70s or 80s. Okay. Once they got off of that, they went to GDP, gross domestic product. Gross domestic product is not only based on population, but the ability of that population in order to earn an income, generate wealth. Okay. Right now, our country is the only one that can sustainably generate enough wealth. And I don't care if you got 1 billion people in your country like China or India, all of them fuckers are not working.
Yeah,
they're poor.
Yeah.
They might be people-wise heavy, but currency-wise and the ability to generate wealth, those countries don't have it in them. Matter of fact, those countries are actually growing. Like China, they went into the industrial complex. They started training up all their people in order to be technologically savvy enough in order to produce technology produced by an American company like Apple and all the other companies that went over there in order to have their stuff manufactured. China's good at replicating things. They're not good at creating things. Okay. So that's why China all of a sudden started growing wealth in the 60s and on. It's because we took our companies over there because of the tax breaks and the cheap labor in order to have them reproduce our goods and services to export. A lot of people like to say, well, China's the #1 exporter of our fucking products, not their own.
Yeah,
There's a catch there. You got to be the #1 exporter of your own goddamn product, not somebody else's. So that's a dead point. You get what I'm saying? Now, guess who's competing against China as the #1 person to produce products? And who's leaving China now and moving to that country? India. India is competing for that same industrial production market. A lot of companies are closing up doors in China and moving directly over to India.
Man,
go tell me where I'm wrong. Somebody Google it and show me that I'm wrong. I'm not. When they started screaming about BRICS a year and a half ago about how BRICS is going to take over, man, stop. Please stop. I've been in the financial industry for a long time. These certificates are not fake behind me. Okay.
I ain't gonna lie, that's sort of like freaked me out. You know what I mean? Because they were saying stuff like, you know,
the media got a hold of it. You know, the internet got a hold of it. They wanted to hype it up and all these other things. That's the whole thing, man. YouTube is quick to hype something up without any facts behind it. You know, and I blame Donald Trump for calling fake news fake news. You know what I mean? Because now where news reporters had to verify and they had to get, you know, proof positive before they put anything in print, they let YouTube just go buck wild on reporting anything and everything to sensationalize to get clicks and views. None of that shit is based off of any solid facts, any solid science, or any documentation whatsoever. You could just say something on the internet and all of a sudden becomes fact. And it's not.
Hey, you said a mouthful with that one, goddamn. But I'm gonna let this play a little further, and I'm gonna let you further elaborate on this shit because I'm gonna just let you have the floor on this. You know,
no, man, we both can go back at it. You know.
Yeah, I can give my spiel on what I think.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
America. Tell me how I know about America.
Name a system in this country or in the world that's not dominated by white supremacy. Name something that's
NBA.
Did you say the NBA?
Yeah, if you want to stop it to elaborate on anything they say, just let me know. I'll stop it.
Who are the owners?
Zionists. It's not white.
All
people.
Right.
There you go.
Is it the whole not white but Jewish thing?
Yeah, those are
the same Zionists to fund the Democratic Party, the same Zionists who are fucking pushing reparations, so dumb fucking morons like you can fucking do it.
Stop that right there. You can stop that right there.
All right.
First of all, Zionists, as they say, are Jews. Jews are the only ones that own most of the corporations in the world. Believe it or not, it comes down to 4 major companies that own most of the other sub companies that you would think. They're all Jewish. Okay. Jews itself, Israel is propped up. Israel itself is propped up by England and America back in the 40s. This is the whole thing that's going on with the Gaza Strip and the Palestinians. The Palestinians were causing all kind of problems back in the 40s, and the only way England thought to make it any kind of difficult for them is to take the Jews from Germany that were being persecuted once they were freed and have Palestine give up some land. And then they made that the official state of Israel, backed by who? England and America. Why? Because that's where their major establishments were already set up for as far as control. We give Jews money like it's nobody's business. Israel is propped up with their weaponry and everything else by our industrial complex. They don't have to pay for R&D. They modify our equipment however they want. Like we'll sell them a piece of equipment and they'll modify it the way they want. How do they even know how to modify our shit? Because we give them all our technology. Why would we give any other country our technology if they don't have some kind of ownership in us? So when he says Zionists control the Democratic Party, no. Jews control both sides of the party. There is no one party anymore. If you guys haven't caught on to that, Democratic or Republican, they're both getting, recruited and paid off by the same companies. It's industry now. It's greenbacks. Has nothing to do with party alignments. That's all to keep everybody confused. Yeah, go ahead.
Where do the white Anglo-Saxons, fall in line as far as like being on the hierarchy, I should say? Are they like under the Jews, or are they like working right beside the Jews? Like,
their false perception is they're right there with them, but they're not. They're being controlled too.
Okay, but this was something that Tariq Nasheed, I don't know if he's already said this, but I know this is something that he's going to say. He said that they're all in cahoots to work together to make sure we don't come to their level, I should say. So, I mean, do you agree with that?
Yeah, they're all in cahoots in order to control the, everything that comes with, decision making or anything like that. The 1%ers, you heard about the 1%ers. The 1%ers are the ones that pretty much control everything in the world. And like I said, these major corporations that own all the subset of major corporations is only 4, and they're all owned or CEO'd by Jewish people. Why do you think that is?
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
This was just something that I just found interesting. I wasn't necessarily going to talk.
Oh yeah, it's a great conversation they were starting to have. A lot of other YouTubers have highlighted it, but to go into detail over it, they just kind of perused over it. This is good conversation to have and to break down the mentality of the people sitting on this panel and their angle why they're saying what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? Because they do have an angle. They have an objective.
Yeah. Myron, he wanted a rematch with his name, Tariq Nasheed, but he can't. He said the only way I'll give you guys a rematch is to come off some bread. But Myron was like, I'm not gonna do that. Like, I'm a bigger platform than you. I have way more followers,
no, he's not.
Way more clout than you, whatever the case may be. That's what he said. And Tariq Nasheed is like, bro, like, this is clout for you. I've been in the game for over a decade. You just now coming into the game. I'm known worldwide, I should say. So, you know what I mean? Like, and on
Fresh
top
and
of
Fit are known on the internet only. Tariq Nasheed actually has skin in the game. He's produced things like a full-blown museum. He has tangible things. These guys are only internet famous. The minute they get cut off of Rumble, they're already scared that Rumble's about to cut them off. They lost all their YouTube ads.
Lawsuits and shit, right?
Huh?
Like Rumble, they're like dealing with like different lawsuits and stuff. Like, people trying to shut Rumble down. Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know what the hell.
So they're running scared. That's why they're trying to put their information behind a paywall. If Rumble wasn't running scared about Fresh and Fit, then why is Fresh and Fit now trying to put all their stuff and content behind a paywall?
We already know why they're doing that, man.
Exactly.
Yep. But with that being said, I'm gonna let this shit.
Myron talk, bro.
So it's the nobody's white thing. Okay, it's the whole nobody's white argument. Okay.
No, people are white, but do you not know the difference between people from Israel?
White.
Do you not know the difference ethnically between whites and Zionists?
Okay, what's the difference?
They're Jewish and they don't have white DNA. They're not from the Caucasus region, dumbass. It's a whole different ethnicity. They're the chosen people. White people do not control America.
They're white, right? And that's how they came over and subverted y'all.
Yeah, I just broke all that down for you.
You said what?
I said I just broke all that down for you. They're sitting there, get ready to explain the same thing I just said.
So what makes them Jews?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Why is it you can delineate between the blacks,
I can't delineate from your
and then, but we can't delineate between the whites? That wouldn't make any sense.
No. Slow down. Whoa. No. We delineate from Black Africans, but we're foundational Black Americans. So we're still Black.
Foundational. What does that mean?
Still Black. We're still Black. I'm just a foundational Black American. You're saying that Jewish people are not white?
I was told that the FBA guys.
What is foundational Black American?
The guys who came in to call into my show, they said the blacks was something that blacks in America used. That this wasn't a term that was used. That's why they said you ask them other people what they are. They say they're Nigerian. They say they're whatever, but they don't say they're black. They say black is specific for the ones who came on my show. Said it was specific for blacks in America. Is that true? Because I don't know.
Okay, because some black people will come over here from Nigeria, and is that Tommy talking? That Tommy? Now you pretend.
Yes, I was just wondering, is that part true?
Wake it up,
But Tommy, I would say you're not really Panamanian, but a lot of Panamanians, they come over here and if they're dark skinned, they'll say that they're black. But he's saying that a white Jewish person ain't really Jewish or white. I'm trying to make sense of it. What
He said Jews and whites aren't even genetically the
genuinely
same.
the first time you've heard about the difference between a Jew and a white person in all the years you yap about race?
Because a lot of Jewish people classify themselves as white.
Yes, to go undercover and to go under the guise of white supremacy.
Like a lot of like a lot of.
That's pretty much what you just said, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, they pretty much go under.
See, here's the thing. Back in the 40s, 30s, and all this, when a Jew came over here, he was definitely separate from whites. So the white supremacists still had control on the nation and all this other stuff. So Jews were persecuted just as much as black people were when they first came over here. They were called kikes and everything else. They were getting their ass whooped by white Americans. But as the wealth started coming and as they started controlling industry, Jews stopped calling themselves Jews and just wanted to assimilate into the white race and just say they're white. But there is a distinct difference. Absolutely. But you're not going to just find a Jew saying, oh, even when you look at censors, the national censorship, they'll tick off white and then they'll say, what other race do you identify with beside for just being Caucasus? Are you Irish? Are you this? Are you that? Or the other thing? So in general, most Jews are just going to say they're white. They're not going to just say they're Jews. But now they're not being persecuted as much. And with anti-Semitism and all these different laws, the minute you say something about a Jew and a negative connotation, all of a sudden you're being persecuted. Yet and still, you can say ninja, ninja, ninja 5 times. Beetlejuice can pop up and ain't nobody going to say shit about that. Because we don't own shit. Because we don't own shit. We don't have no power, but they do. Underlining power and power right in your fucking face. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's what I said earlier. Like we own like 1% of like half of 1%, something like that, of all the wealth in the world, in America, or whatever. Yeah, and
right.
I don't know if that's like because of us or it's because of the power that be. I can't really say. So, yeah. All right, we're gonna let it play.
A lot of Nigerians and stuff call themselves black, and y'all have said that they do it to try and subvert blackness.
A lot of them try to pretend to be foundational black American.
Yes.
They do.
Just like the Jews that go undercover and pretend to be white when they're Jewish and they hold allegiance to Israel. Do you not know what that is?
Africans, but
they don't need to do that anymore.
You're black, but don't talk about that for 5 seconds. Do you not understand the difference between the Jewish ethnicity and the white ethnicity?
No, I don't. I swear to God, I don't.
That's genuinely concerning, the fact that you talk about race all day and you've never heard that.
He can't say it, Sneako.
That is a little concerning.
The Zionists funded the NAACP.
I said that is a little concerning. He does know about race, but all of a sudden, when it comes to the differences between the Jewish race and the Caucasus race, or the white race from the mountains of Caucasus, or whatever you want to call it, he doesn't know the difference between those two. To know thy enemy is to be stronger. So if you know all these things about your own race, you need to also study your enemies. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I think with him,
that sounds a little inconsistent to me, the fact that he's saying it like that. And maybe a little disingenuous.
The fact that Tariq Nasheed saying that,
he doesn't know the difference between white and
people. Yeah. I think he put all of them in the
He knows history. I think he's kind of like trolling them a little bit just to get him upset. I think he knows. I think he's kind of trolling them.
He knows. He just don't want to say it because it'll defeat his argument. You know what I mean?
Not really. If he stands on business, it doesn't. But like I'm standing on it. If he stood on business, it wouldn't matter whether they said the differences between whites and Jews. It doesn't matter. Jews have still assimilated into the white race as a whole. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Another thing too, he said that I don't know if they already said, they said you can say something about white people, you know, and won't necessarily get any harsh criticism or no backlash. But the moment you say something about a Jew, like all
boom,
pretty much
red flag, siren go off, some special noise goes off in the government, and all of a sudden all hell comes in.
Yup, and we seen what happened with Nick Cannon. That's why he don't want to say nothing. I think he knows. He just don't want to go there route because he know his will to be taken from him, or you know they'll try to like sabotage some of his projects, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I think he knows what you said. Yeah. He just don't lose money.
They fund all their black organizations. He can't say anything. He'll get fired.
No, I would like to know.
His wife is Jewish. That's why. Your wife is Jewish. You know, like the Jewish person owns Black Lives Matter too.
What?
Like all the
wife is man, Jewish? Wife ain't no damn Jew. Man, that man, wife ain't. No, I don't. I'm like,
they say anything and everything to try to throw you off your rocker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Like some of the guys that joined the panel, their whole purpose was to just throw him off the track. You know?
Yeah, troll and to throw him off track. Yeah.
And I like the fact that he was able to circumnavigate all of that to stay on topic, you know, to defend himself in argument. So
right, because he's truly in a room by himself. There ain't nobody in there trying to back what he's saying. Yeah. And Tommy's going to stay neutral no matter what. He's not really going to pick a side, you know. But he will stand. He'll stay consistent. He'll let them know, no, you're off track. That's not right. So that's where you'll hear Tommy might chime in and say, no, that's not right.
Yeah. And I think that's what. And as soon as you know he was able to make that distinction, it was like, okay, y'all pretty much lost, because Myron and I guess Tommy's supposed to be like on the same team, and for your own teammate to say, "No, bro, that he got you," it's pretty much the white flag at that point. Yeah, pretty much put up the white flag.
What about the systems of white supremacy? They all go back to Israel.
Stop chimping out, bro. You gotta chill.
Explain. My wife is Jewish. What?
Man, what? No, damn.
Now he's acting stupid.
Okay, what are you talking about? You're just saying anything. You're tapping out and saying anything right now.
Yeah, I didn't say your wife is Jewish, but the first time that you actually heard that there's a difference, the system of white supremacy.
No, because nobody can articulate it.
Yeah, I'm articulating right now, but you keep on interrupting me with
I'm not interrupting you. Please articulate.
All right, Tariq, let me explain the point, because Tariq talks about race, and like finally he needs to understand that there's a difference.
Right.
Okay, the Jewish supremacists, they go under the guise of white supremacy, so people like you can live under a system of victimhood forever. Jewish supremacy is different than white supremacy.
Why can't you explain it without trolling?
Talk, bro.
He's just trolling. He's trolling.
I'm not trolling, but you're not listening to me without
No, because now you're talking about people like me. I'm asking a legitimate question.
Okay, let me answer.
What's the difference between a Jewish white supremacist and an Anglo white supremacist?
They're completely different ethnicity.
How so?
Jewish people are the chosen people that goes back thousands of years. It comes from the book. They come from one tribe of people. They're not white.
And half of these motherfuckers on the panel are not Christians. So why would they care?
I was going to ask you about that too. Do you think that?
Why would you care if you're not Christian or Catholic? Why would you care who the Jews rank as?
Man, they just say whatever they could to throw them off the track. You know what I mean? That's all it is.
Only people that are Christians and Catholics would care where Jews rank at.
Yeah, I guess they supposed to rank at the very top, but
just because of what his point was, is they're God's chosen people.
Yeah,
and they're sticking to that point. But that point is a moot point if you don't really believe in that.
Yeah, I agree with that, because you can't really, because like you're really going off hearsay and you're not studying the Bible to see what the actual scriptures say. And I think Tommy is going to allude to that at some point too. So yeah.
Yeah, and if he wants to stick to the Jews thing, there's black Jews as well. Ethiopians are considered a race of black Jews of the tribe, the 12 tribes. So if he goes that point and wants to go really in depth on who Jews are, and if Jews rank higher, then technically wouldn't Ethiopians rank higher than whites? They don't want to go there, though. You get what I'm saying?
Now they don't want to go there because it's going to defeat their argument. So it is
exactly.
Yeah.
From the Caucasus regions, the European people, Jewish people are a diaspora that have moved around. They've been kicked out of 109 countries, and they travel around the world. They all go back to the same lineage. That's why they only interact.
They said they've been kicked out 109 countries. I think a lot of it because they were doing some degenerate BS. I heard like a lot of things that the Jews was doing was like, you know, dirty, degenerate, you know, scandalous
Hey.
type of behavior.
When you have a vengeful God, all I can say is when you have a vengeful God like the Jews' God is, or God is himself is, he's a jealous God, and he will punish his people. Why do you think they're still roaming around just like they roamed for 40 years in the wilderness after being freed from Egypt? He will punish them in their own beliefs.
That's good. Yeah. Like my whole perception of like the Jewish and being chosen is so convoluted. I don't want to get too deep into it because I think that's a whole other topic for a different live stream. But yeah.
Yeah, that's a big topic too.
Only work with each other, and that's why they subvert people like you to think that there's a system.
So what's the difference between Jewish supremacy and white supremacy?
I just explained they're not the same.
There's a big difference.
No such thing.
They're a different people.
So there were
you can talk shit about white people all you want, Tariq. Start talking shit about Zionists, they'll shut your ass down.
Trolling.
That's not trolling. That's what the
during
truth is.
slavery.
So yeah, that's not trolling. That's actually a fact.
During slavery,
you can call white people devils if you call Jews that. Well, that's not something. I think everybody should admit that. That shouldn't be something that anyone argues. You can call white people devils all day, and no one says a word. Call Jews devil. For as much as Nick Cannon has said about white people, he's never, ever, ever had to sit down and learn about white people after he said it and apologize to white people after he said it.
Didn't Candace Owens say something about Jewish and she ended up losing her job?
I don't know what the real reason was why Candace Owens lost her positions, because she just lost her podcast.
Said something about it. She did?
Yeah. She's free.
It was either something.
She don't even have a podcast anymore.
Hey, is she still on YouTube, or they took off YouTube?
She's been palling around with a whole bunch of different things. Like she went on what's the morning radio talk show in New York that has old boy on it? She was on that show. Now, you know, she's mostly anti-black. Now she's on black shows and black radio, this, that, and the other. She's just trying to find somewhere to join back in to get some kind of leverage again. But she's burned a lot of bridges with her talking points, and she's burned a lot of bridges with her attitude. You know? Yeah.
She sounds like Tommy right now. I think Tommy being kicked off a lot of different platforms. Now he's just going anywhere he can go and sort of, you know, still stay relevant or whatever the case may be. But yeah, man, as far as Candace Owens, I think she either said something about Jewish people or it was something about or something like that, and you know she ended up paying the price for it. So what Tommy was saying and what the guy was saying in earlier, like he was 100%. And I think you brought the same point as well. You said if you say anything about Jewish people or Israel or anything Jewish related, you know, they pretty much gonna shut you down, man. So,
yep.
You can say what you want about whites.
Right, and Zionists are the ones that go and say white devil all the time. They go on and say that
yeah, that's not a refutable fact, right? You can't. I agree with that, right, Tommy? But to me, they all anti-black the same. When it comes to my black ass, they're going to handle me the same.
Well, I just wish that sometimes conversations were had where they were being honest. Whenever people won't be honest about something that is an actual fact, like a person who knows and just did a movie about hip hop knows that these black people are able to call white people devils and black people niggas, but every time they kind of tried to refer to Jews, they beeped it.
Exactly.
Jews and white people oppress black folks. That's a fact.
No, not white people. Let me explain. Tariq, you did a whole movie about hip hop. Do you know who all the hip hop executives are?
Jewish people.
Exactly. Jewish people are not white people. They do that to spread degeneracy throughout the black community, to make you think it's okay to be thugs, to prop up Sexy Red.
No, so it's reversed. No, it's reversed.
You don't know the difference between Jews and whites, and you just did something
reversed, man.
The reason why Jews and white people get lumped together is because black folks are not in position. Black folks ain't in position to delineate when it comes to oppression of black folks. White folks and Jewish people work together collectively to oppress black folks. That's a fact.
So why don't blacks and tethers work together to uplift blacks?
Because most of those tethers are trying to be under that cloak of white supremacy, right? They like they white.
Most of them? That's a large number.
We're talking about people like Sneako parents, right? Those model minorities. Oh, I'm not gonna come over here and fight it. Matter of
Sneako
fact,
appears mixed. He seemed like he Asian or something.
Mixed with
Yeah,
what?
I'm
Mixed with what? Hey, Sneako, what are you, Sneako?
Asians are the
we
model
confused.
minority.
Okay, I'm Filipino and Haitian, right? Like Haiti.
I'm
Oh,
talking.
so Al Sharp just looked at this rally come June 19th in fucking New York.
What kind of rally is it?
I'm not gonna go to
It's
your
a
black
it's a
victim
Haitian
rally.
rally.
I'm good off that. I'm not gonna
Haitian
go to your
rally for
black victim
Juneteenth.
rally.
By the way,
No,
the
no,
Haitians and the Caribbeans are trying to steal Juneteenth.
Okay, can you mute
holiday.
because nobody wants to talk to you? I want to talk to Tariq. Tariq, have you never heard about Jewish?
You need to get a dental plan, nigga.
Yo, take that nigga down.
That's white supremacists try to pawn off their supremacy on each other. They try to play hot potato when they both practice it. So I don't really get into the ethnic background of a suspected white supremacist.
So you get into the ethnic background when you think it's white people, but when it's Jews, you stay quiet. Why?
Oh no, because white is white to me.
Okay,
What's
but I just
yeah, that's the disingenuous you was talking about right there, right?
Yeah.
He was talking about white to me. Yeah, okay.
Differentiated to it. No. That was the dumbest take.
And the reason he's saying that is to simplify the fact that the Jews have assimilated into white culture, even though there is a distinct separation as far as who's controlling who. You get what I'm saying? But because of the history behind Jews when they first got here, they feel like it's more acceptable for them to just go ahead and assimilate into the white culture instead of standing separately, because then when you're standing separately, you make yourself a target. When you blend in with a larger group, you can't necessarily make you a target, but the minute they say one negative thing about them, all of a sudden they can activate and shut you down.
Yeah. I think it's smart for them to do that, but it's like, as a result of it, it's like, it's, you know, they like dominating for that. Hold on, let me see if somebody's trying to. Okay, we got, I don't know who this, Darnell, I know who that is. Let me add Darnell to the stage. Who's good, Darnell?
Hey, not a whole lot. Yeah, just saw the topic. You guys going over the debate with Sneako and Myron and them, huh? And Tariq.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, your mic, it sounds like you on steroids. The mic sounds like you're on steroids, so you might want to fix that.
It's a little digital. So if you're moving around, find a good location, because I know you like to walk and talk.
Yeah. Okay. Let me sit down. Hold on. I should be close to the phone now.
Right now.
Yeah, I'm closer to the. I'm closer to the phone now. My bad.
All right.
Yeah. So
this is something that everybody.
That's not deflection.
Tariq.
That's
before you keep echoing this retard stuff.
What's the difference? What's the difference between a anti-black Jewish person and an anti-black Anglo? What's the difference?
They're different races, Tariq.
Oh, that
doesn't mean anything to me. What does that mean to me? They're both oppressing me.
System of white supremacy.
I can answer that one.
Okay, Tariq, do you know who created the Federal Reserve?
Hey, Darnell, if it's anything you want to, elaborate on real quick, just let me know and I'll stop it. All right, bro.
All right, we'll do.
White people, or was it Zionists?
Oh, y'all did it together.
Both of them.
Y'all did it together, right? As soon as you brought the Federal
Reserve,
come on, the birth of a nation. What are we doing?
So you get out of that victimhood nature that you use to white people and talk about the Jews as well, but you won't because they fund you.
If you had a white supremacist partner in crime from an ethnic group and they got more money from you, that doesn't concern me because you both got the money from me. So
he's funded by Zionists 100%.
He doesn't care about who it is. He just wants to be in the victim.
No.
He doesn't care.
All of you, we look at you all the same.
As long as he's the victim forever, as long as he feels like black people
are victimizing me, you're both one and the same.
It doesn't matter who's in power.
You're one in the same. You're one in the same.
And that point he's making is factual. Doesn't matter what side it's coming from. If you're both victimizing me, then I got a problem with both sex. So he's right with that. If I'm being attacked by all sides, then I have a problem with everybody who's attacking me.
Yeah, I agree with that. Regardless of I should say groups. Like if you got these Jewish people attacking me, then you got these Anglo-Saxon white people attacking me, you got Chinese people attacking me, then it's like I'll say fuck all. You know what I mean? I don't care who's on top. I don't care who's at the top of the hierarchy or whatever. I just know I'm getting jumped by all three of y'all. I don't it don't matter if You know, it's just this one person at the head is telling these other two people to whoop my ass, regardless, man. Like there's an agenda to, you know, whoop my ass. So I can definitely agree with that. I don't necessarily know what Tariq Nasheed angle is. You know, like, I do agree that you know, I should say white is white. You feel me? Because, you know, prior to talking to y'all, I didn't even know that. Now, prior to talking to you, Ronin, I didn't even know that Jews and whites. I didn't know that Jews identified as white. I thought that was all like one group. Yeah, I didn't even know that like separate.
No.
So, yeah, I mean
it'll take them a minute to separate themselves from outside of that group to say specifically this is what they are, unless they're walking around with the wits at the end of their name, Berkowitz, something like that. You know what I mean? Where it's obvious.
Horowitz, yeah, some weird ass last name. But Darnell, is something you want to add to it, bro? Or you good for right now?
I'm good for right now.
All right, man.
Right.
Let me say something, damn it.
Yep, white supremacy.
Okay, but no,
but you're all
classifying
yourselves
he's
as white.
looping.
I'm not looping.
I'm gonna have to jump off the stage on Sneako. I'm gonna have to jump off the
described
stage.
to you the difference between Jews and whites.
But
you're
all
classified
as white.
I want to hear what Tommy got to say. Go ahead,
When
Tommy.
he says, what is the difference? That is simple, and it's one that every one of y'all should know right now. You can make money off of calling out whites and not be silenced.
Bingo.
Exactly.
You can't do the same thing to Jews. So if that is if nothing else, that is a huge difference. That's like saying I could talk shit to my mom and she at least let me eat and go to sleep in my bed. But if I say something about my dad, he'd knock my teeth out. There's a difference. I am fearful of speaking now about my father. So if that's a thing, then you know there's a difference between the two. You cannot say they're the same.
Exactly.
When one at least allowed over express yourself.
Like I said, that's one thing about Tommy. He will stay consistent straight down the middle. It don't matter to him. He will stay consistent straight down the middle when he makes a point.
Yeah. Tommy is more so for, you know, stating the truth, you know, and he like a referee. That's what I like about him. Even him, it's to his own detriment because he don't necessarily like to pick a side. And I think Tommy was supposed to be a part of the rematch with the debate, but he sort of kicked Tommy off because it's like I don't necessarily know if you're on my side, but it's not necessarily about picking side. It's about finding out what the truth is. Like that's my whole deal. So that's what I do respect about Tommy.
Because that's where the money is.
They're
one
both
allows you to
practicing
express
white
yourself, the other does
supremacy.
not.
What are you talking
Period.
about?
He make
They're
money
both
off of
practicing
oppression, bro.
If all of them are practicing white supremacy, doesn't matter. We're calling out white supremacy. We're not going to break people up in ethnic groups.
But you're how much does the Zionists pay you, Tariq?
It ain't even white supremacy. It's more so calling out people in power or people that's in a better or more dominant position than you are. So
it's
a person could be a black person, but in most cases it's going to be a white person or a Jewish person or whatever the case. So yeah.
How much did they actually pay you, Tariq? How much did these Zionists actually fill your pockets with? Because you're not this stupid. You're not this stupid, bro.
Shut the fuck up. You're not adding nothing to the conversation.
Run it up. You're a broke ass motherfucker. Shut the fuck up.
Stop it.
Tactic. That's a white supremacist tactic of trying to play hot potato.
All right, so let me just jump in real quick.
That's
so,
an old trick that we don't fall for. We're not falling.
It totally sound like my dad.
Tariq, you don't see a difference between Jews and whites. All right.
Let someone speak. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so you don't see a difference between Jews and whites, but you do.
That's a hot potato tactic.
Oh my God, you're being
He's acting stupid on purpose because it subverts his whole career.
No,
because
Jewish
power.
No,
you're talking
that's a deflection. That's a deflection, and we're not falling for it.
It's not a deflection.
We're not falling for it. That's a deflection.
It's not a deflection. Hold on, let me make one point. If
you know they're goading him at this point, right?
Yeah.
Say what?
They're goading him right now. They're goading Tariq. They're trying to get him to say the exact thing that he should not be saying so that he can get his channels taken down because he'll be misunderstood and misrepresented the minute they get that sound bite on him and Tariq is seeing it for what it is. If he says anything in a negative, in a way that it can be taken, cut up, clipped up in a way to where it sounds like he's saying something directly against Zionists or Jews, they're gonna go and snatch his shit.
Well, see, but
So that's why he's not taking the bait, and the white guys are still trying to get him to do it.
That's kind of what I was
So
saying
that's
earlier.
the troll part. That's the trolling part of this conversation with all these people against Tariq, is they're trolling him to get him to say certain things so they can go back and clip him up later. He knows it.
Well, that white guy though, he's actually Jewish himself. The Fresh and Fit's manager, he's Jewish himself.
You're talking about the GG dude?
I don't know what his. Yeah, that guy.
That dude, he got scammer written all over him, bro. I didn't. I didn't. Anybody that's practicing like numerology, astrology, bro, I'm already.
It's actually. Hey, bro. I'm sorry, I have to believe it. It's true. It's in the Bible. It's true.
Yeah, it just with him, bro.
It was given it was the technology and the information was given to us by angels themselves. So, like, I can't go against old scriptures. You know,
I'm going against him.
You going against his belief and knowledge about how it works.
It's like anybody. Oh, okay. So here's my thing, right? He already got a track record of being a scammer and scamming people out of hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars, right?
Yeah, I don't know the guy.
And another thing too, like anybody that's giving real information about astrology and numerology and things of that nature, like they're not a lot of the information, you know, could be, you know, vital to someone's success, right? Or it can help you elevate further. And it's like if the information is real, then a lot of people gonna seek that. But if you end up saying like the wrong thing, then you know the powers that be could end up, you know, coming for you. You feel me? Because a lot of the information is like secret. It's secret. You know, it's not for everybody's consumption. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're chopping up a little bit yourself. I don't know if your mic is plugged in all the way or not. It's kind of like choppy. Somebody else said it too.
Yeah, I can hear it myself.
What about now?
Just check your connection. It's still a little choppy. Yeah, I don't know if you got a loose cord or something. That's what it sounds like. It's like
I think it's because I accidentally hit the speaker part accidentally. You know, giving my spiel. Hold up, let me.
You're clear right now. You're not choppy at all. The way you're talking right now, you're fine.
Yeah, you sound clear now. A lot clearer.
Yeah, I accidentally hit my fucking mic speaking and shit.
There it is again.
Yeah, I'm choppy again.
Yeah, I don't know if it's when you go to touch the mic or whatever. Something's loose. It just happens to be like right now when you're sitting like that, you're fine. The minute you start touching something, it goes choppy again. Whatever it is that you're touching, we can't see.
Okay, yeah.
You're fine right now.
Yep.
Okay, it might be because it might be his headset I'm using, but I'm just try not to move too much.
All right.
It's a damn deflection.
Okay, Tariq say not falling for the banana in the tailpipe.
All right. I just need to mute. Because Tariq, you're not being respectful. How many times am I going to tell you to stop talking for 1 second? Like, respect the space, bro. Or you can go if you want. You can leave, but if you don't like it, my thing is this: Tariq, you said what you had to say. Let Sneako speak. Let Myron make his point. And
I will bounce. Come back. I don't need to be up here with a bunch
you're gonna leave now that I told you the truth?
You're not. This ain't. You're not doing me a favor. All right, let's keep that shit 100.
He's gonna run away.
You're not doing me a favor,
bro. We all know that Jews fund you, Tariq.
I'm making up stuff.
We know about
your the Zionists fund him for sure.
We know about your.
Yeah, why would they do that?
Act like you don't know what a Jew is. Stop acting like you know the difference between a white man and a Jew. Stop with that, bro. You're deflecting yourself because you don't want to call out a Jew. You don't. You want to call everybody white supremacists
out. That's what I'm gonna keep calling out.
Yeah, no,
and
exactly.
you can lie all you want,
why you don't want to call it the Jew.
Zionist talking points left and right from Tariq.
Bro, you're in politics, bro. Come on,
lying
you already know
means
this.
I won. When you start lying,
just let Sneako say his piece and let Tariq say his piece.
Now, if you want to lie, go ahead and knock yourself out. If you want to start lying,
say your piece, then let.
You're going to start lying, knock yourself out. That means I won. Thank you. Now go ahead and lie. I'm good. That means I
Well, we
won.
know that. Well, here's the thing. We know there's a difference between
If
Asians.
you're going to start making up some mythological Jewish contract, knock your damn self out. That means I won the.
No, I never spoke about that. Tommy, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second to speak to Tariq.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I've been trying to. I think all of y'all should just wait and let each other finish.
All right, Tariq, can you not interrupt me for 5 seconds?
All right. Now, I'm not going to talk in circles with y'all. All right.
Okay, so now we established that there's a difference in the ethnicity between white people and Jewish people. Do you understand that?
And it doesn't matter because you're all practicing white supremacy. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Does everyone hear how there's a difference? Why would Jewish people practice white supremacy if they're not white?
So they could subvert y'all power when they got here.
Jewish people suppress white people.
Okay, no.
Hold
I
on
don't
here.
need I don't need his side. Okay, Tariq,
He asked a good question.
Why would Jewish people promote white supremacy if they're not white?
There are Jewish white supremacy. You had Jewish Nazis over here. You had Dan Burroughs. You had Frank Joseph. You had Jewish Nazis over here. What are you talking about?
The people that show allegiance to Israel, the Zionists, why would they show allegiance to white people?
Why would you have Jewish Nazis over here?
What are you talking about?
I just told you there were famous Jewish Nazis.
You talked about deflections 5 seconds ago. You're deflecting again. Answer the question.
What? That's a deflection?
Yes, it is.
You just said why would Jewish people promote white supremacy?
He's giving you an example of it. Sneako, he's giving you an example of what Jews actually
that's
did.
a small minority. Like, once again,
I know, but you can't do that, Sneako. See, Sneako, he gave you the example.
Okay, Tariq, what Jewish Nazis are you talking about?
I'm talking about Dan Burroughs, Frank Joseph. You had Laura
George
Loomer.
Soros.
A lot of people in neo-Nazi organizations.
You're calling Laura Loomer a Jewish Nazi?
she's a suspected white supremacist.
Okay, she
hangs around the alt-right. That's a more modern example.
Great point.
A more modern example. Even Milo, that's another modern example too.
Okay, great point. So Laura Loomer, she's a Zionist. She shows allegiance to Israel. Where do you see that she promotes white supremacy?
She was with the alt-right. She was out there with Richard Spencer and all of those guys.
Okay, so, because she agrees with Trump. But
also,
you see right
Ben Shapiro is a suspected white supremacist.
Are you retarded? Ben Shapiro he shows undying allegiance to Israel. He doesn't care about America. He wants Netanyahu to be the president of America.
So Israel doesn't stop somebody from being a damn white supremacist or suspected white supremacist. That's
you can't be a supremacist. Wait,
that's my point,
are
sir.
you that stupid to think that you could be a supremacist of two races at once?
You saying stupid doesn't mean anything. So
but you can't be a supremacist of two races at once. It's very simple.
You haven't talking about Israel doesn't negate the fact that people have white supremacist views.
So you're saying no. Say that and stand on that.
There are black people. There are black Jews talking about white supremacy in Israel. So what are you talking about?
See, here comes the black Jew argument. I told you it was going to come. Here comes the black Jew argument. I told you it was coming.
Yeah, man, this rabbit hole goes
complaining about white supremacy.
Sure. You just
what are you talking about Israel for as if you can't be a white supremacist? What are you talking about?
Great. Is Ben Shapiro a white supremacist, Tariq?
He's a suspected white supremacist.
No, not suspected. Yes or no?
I suspect that he is.
You suspect it? Why?
Because of his anti-black views and his allegiance and his being around a lot of other white supremacists.
His allegiance to what?
Being around other
Pause this real quick. All these questions are coming from Sneako, who's already admitted that he's multiracial. He's Filipino, Haitian. He's a Zoe and white. But he's sitting here making all these points about white supremacists. So you saying that Sneako isn't a white supremacist himself because of his nationality is negating his white supremacy wants and alignments? No. So this is all counterintuitive and counterproductive at the same point, because you got a mixed race guy sitting here trying to challenge Tariq on his stats and standing when this guy is being disingenuous about his own stats and standing.
Yeah, he's obviously on some white supremacist, racist type crap. So
right, but yet and still, he's admittedly multicultural. Anybody, if you know white supremacy, you can't be of any mixed race. It goes back to the original point of why Hitler tried to do what he did. The true Aryan race is the superior race of all. You can't be an Aryan if you're fucking mixed.
You said Aryan?
Yeah. Aryan means straight up white.
Oh,
You
okay,
can't
okay.
be of the Aryan race if you're mixed. So you sitting here with these multicultural identities as far as your ancestry, defending what Aryans would do that are pure white race, as if you're one of them. But if it came down to it, once you help eliminate everybody else as an enemy of theirs, you
You're
what?
next.
Become the enemy.
Yep.
Well, too, but also, Ronan, you also got to remember too. I do agree with you that under the definition of Aryan, you'd have to be 100% white. But let's face it, if you were to, there's nobody that, or I would say maybe less than 1% would be pure anything. Like,
I would just say,
and exactly, this is the main point that they're all missing. We're all so intermingled in our ancestry, all of us.
I mean,
that the only true people is the ones that are really controlling the strings, the puppeteer, or who? The Jews.
Yeah,
the people that actually own all the corporations. Then this is a point that I wrote down. Divisions in race is how they do it.
Mm-hmm.
They'll support white people, yeah, and their own fucking racism just to keep the division going between the whites, the blacks, and everybody else. Why wouldn't they? Their circle and their income still comes in. Nobody's uniting. That's what they want.
Yeah.
Yep,
I mean, if you look at, say, Adolf Hitler, for example, like even some people say that he was actually Jewish.
He is. He was. Yeah. He was a Jewish descent, hating on his own race.
Exactly. So
he wasn't blonde hair, blue eyes. He was brown eyes and black hair.
Correct. And
so what is going to change his genetics to turn blonde hair and blue eyed all of a sudden? No, that's called self-hatred at its worst.
Yeah.
Do any of y'all have any reasons why he would be against his own race, or I don't know?
That's to the psyche of the man. You would have to really deal with what happened in his childhood.
Yeah,
maybe he was bullied.
Me personally, I think it was some type of revelation he found out. You know what I mean? That made him figure out, okay, I know who the true enemies are. Versus,
a lot of people when they're bullied, they get psychologically, they develop this thing where they start self-hating themselves and starting to become part of whatever race that tried to bully them, to be inclusive of them.
Yeah, that's my younger sister.
Maybe, yeah.
My younger sister, she got bullied in school because she was dark skinned.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me about that, and in the midst of her telling me, she was crying because it was so painful. And in the midst of that, and even then, she got a white boyfriend. So I mean,
right. It's almost like Stockholm syndrome. You know what I'm saying? But in some kind of twisted, reverse way.
Yeah. I mean, and when I was a kid, I remember, watching the news and stuff and turning on the TV. A black man broke into somebody's house, what I mean? And you would see it like every night. Well, when I was a kid, I'll be honest with you, I was afraid of my own race. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even, because I guess you could say I was light skinned, maybe I didn't see when I was a kid, I didn't see myself as black, but I mean, it was like, it was that fear because I saw it on TV, and media does play a part in, in that self-hatred,
Mm-hmm.
like it wasn't until, I became a teenager, I was like, wait a minute, I'm black, because I was, I didn't understand the fact that I was getting treated different, like when I was in the 4th grade, I mean, I remember my dad put me in this Lutheran school, my brother, myself, and I think there was one other student. We were only, it was a small school, but we were the only 3 black kids in the school.
Right.
And, I was being treated different. Like, I would listen to hip hop and this and that nature. Coolio had that song Gangster's Paradise. I used to sing that song, and the teacher would hear me singing it. Now she doesn't know, she's a white woman. She has no idea what that song was really about, but she, according to her, she decided to pull my dad into the office, into her office and say, well, your son is, he's immortal or worshiping the gangster lifestyle because I was singing that song. But she did not know that song was about, getting out of the life. I mean, there was not one curse word. You can look up the lyrics and you'll see there's not one curse word in that song. And if
she heard the word gangster and that was all she needed to hear,
that was it. And I didn't understand what was going on. Like I would wear jerseys, like I'm a 49er fan. I had my dad bought me a Ken Norton Jr. jersey. He used to be a linebacker for San Francisco.
Know who he is? Married his cousin.
Sir. Wow, that's crazy. But I had the jersey, and according to her, gangs wore jerseys. So when she saw me wearing jerseys, at first they tried the rules.
And the fact that it was red didn't help either.
Nope, it didn't. It did not help, because gangs wore bloods.
Red or blue.
Yeah, red or blue, which I thought was, you got to remember, I'm in the, I'm in the 4th grade. So I'm 11 years old at this time,
Right.
Like there's no, I mean, I know today, they recruit young today, but back in the 90s, there was no such thing as 10, 11-year-olds in gangs back then, and then, my dad, he was in the Navy, I got into a little military phase, my dad was in the Navy, so my dad bought, like the smallest size BDUs and DCUs. Yeah, I wore that to school. Collared shirt. I'm within school dress code. They said, yeah, well, we don't like you wearing that because gangs wear camouflage.
What?
Man,
where? This was first
homeschool, bro. You couldn't do shit.
Yeah, this was First Lutheran.
Yeah, I never heard of gangs wearing.
That's the denomination of Christianity,
right? Me.
What's that?
Is that like a different denomination of like Christianity? I think.
Yeah, it's some form of Lutheran is a form of Christianity. I think.
I think they're closer related to Catholic. They're on that level, closer to like a staunch type of belief and strict like adherence to certain things.
Well, I know they
something like that would be.
I know they came from Martin Luther, I think his name was. He was the one that split from the Catholic Church.
Yeah,
but yeah, just getting back to what and I'll try to wrap it up real quick. But yeah, everything I did, so when they sat my dad down and tried to talk to my father, the gang thing is what pissed him off. Or excuse me, when I was wearing the camouflage. And my dad was like, I'm in the Navy. This is my uniform.
Right. Now he's part of a gang. And yeah. Anyway, you might have one other person in the background too. It would be Passport Blueprint. I sent the link. I dropped the link for him if you want. Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay. I didn't know who he was. So
yeah.
But I only bring that up only because that's what let me know I was black. Yeah.
What's up, Passport Blueprint?
Hey, gentlemen, how you doing?
Yeah, we on this Tariq Nasheed major debate against the whole fucking room. So I don't know if you've been listening in, but
yeah, I just tuned in when I heard the Jewish portion, and
and you can speak to that. By the way, True, let him speak for a second because he was stationed there. He was over there doing some work.
I lived in Israel. When I went to school. When I went to school in Israel, and I don't see where Jewish are like white supremacists when they were also going after Christians, because there were some issues with the Christian groups over there and the Armenians and stuff like that. There was times I was reading articles where they were breaking up certain events dealing with Christians, and they were white Christians. there was one time they were trying to get Christian broadcasting in Israel, and they wouldn't allow it.
Wow.
And yeah,
you can't mention Jesus. You can't mention Jesus, and because
they're still in denial that Jesus was a Messiah. They don't want to even admit to that. True Jews don't do that.
Yeah,
some of them don't even admit he exists.
And that's
they say he's existed,
holiday,
but they don't recognize him as the Messiah. He existed, but they're just never going to acknowledge him that way.
You know how we all take a day off for Christmas? You don't take a day off in Israel for Christmas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They'll celebrate.
It sounds like anything related to Jesus, they don't acknowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not in that respect. Beside that, he was part of history. Similar to Muslims. Muslims believe he died an old man. He didn't really die the way they said he died.
No, from what I understand, Muslims believe he was a prophet. They just don't believe he was the son of God.
Exactly.
Yeah. But they do. But even in Islam, they do have respect for. They have more respect.
Right. It's documented for what he's done and the way he moved. Yeah.
Exactly. Whereas Judaism, nothing.
So, like some of the conversation that I just heard that was being spit out on this particular live, it's like, what are you talking about? That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, it's a contradiction in the phrasing that he's using as far as, Jewish or Zionist. What was the term he used?
Jewish and Zionism are two different things. They're trying to mesh them together, and it's not working. Jewish is a religion. Zionism is more of a political ideology.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah,
the other, because you have Jews that don't like Zionism. They hate it.
So Zionism is more of a religion, right?
No, it's more like a movement, basically, to live in to move back to the kingdom where Jews believe that
reclaim Israel, Jerusalem,
exactly.
Reclaim it's a holy land for both sides. It's a holy land for both, but the Jews want it back for themselves, even though they've lost it several times.
Basically, there's a lot of people. There's even Jews that live in Iran that says that land is not given to the Jews. You have a lot of Jews that believe that. It's just the Zionists is the ones that are saying that, this is the land of the Jews. But even if it was the land of the Jews, that's okay, fine. But why you got to kick everybody out?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the United States is land. Land, you can say it's land of Christians, but we allow everybody up in here, to do. Hey, we're Christians, but you can practice your religion. You can do this. You can do that.
You can do
but
whatever
this is all land. But you just want to just kick everybody out and just make it, all this and that. That's.
I got a whole different. I got a different stance on like religion and like Christians in America. My thing is, if you put God on a dollar bill, then that's what God in America is. But I'm not gonna get too deep. I'm gonna get back to the reaction, man.
All right.
Okay, but what does he show allegiance? Tariq, what does he show allegiance to?
And his anti-black racism.
Great. Anti-black. What does he show allegiance to?
Other anti-black races.
Okay, do you think that's his undying allegiance? What is the country he can return to?
A lot of you have an undying allegiance to anti-black racism.
Okay, no one has an undying allegiance to that. It's either a country or supremacy, right?
No, it's an ideology. You have an undying allegiance to an ideology.
The ideology is Jewish supremacy. That they believe they're the chosen
Jewish
people.
supremacy.
That's what Ben Shapiro's allegiance, not white people. Not
Sneako's an idiot.
Hero.
Oh, say it again?
I'm just confirming Sneako is an idiot. You can go. He's a fucking idiot. Misuses of all kind of words. Doesn't know how to throw them out and use them properly. Is ridiculous.
It's anti-black racism, which shows his allegiance.
Okay, you know what? I want to. Now you sound like a special snowflake. Ben Shapiro does not care about black people that much. He cares about Israel. It's not about you.
I know he doesn't care about black. He cares about anti-black racism. He promotes anti-black racism.
That's the smallest part of his allegiance. What he
no,
wants
it's not.
is the state of Israel
That's
to
the only
dominate
reason
the world.
he has a platform. so that other white supremacists who sees his views and anti-black racism, they have a platform to look at. So.
Okay, do you know that every white supremacist that you think you're calling out
and Sneako,
you know that they all
you're not white, Sneako. You're not white, Sneako. You ain't white.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. That's why I'm not talking about white supremacy. Right.
You can
Exactly what I said. Yeah. Why are you sitting there defending white people and you're not white?
White supremacists in the country. Talk to them. Any of the people you.
It's weird to me too. I don't like. What is the benefit from him? Talking shit about black people. The same as Myron, as if like I guess his audience, the majority of his audience, is like white racists in disguise. I honestly don't know. Or Myron and Sneako, they just got a background of just dealing with white.
Sneako's audience is starting to go to the alt-right. He's had a couple racist, Hispanic or mixed race, white supremacists on there. Like the one kid, he's half white, half he had Nick Fuentes on there. So he's also in the confused mode. Like I said. People will use other tethers and other type of races in order to cause confusion within their own ranks, and then they'll just get rid of them after they get done doing whatever they're doing to cause the confusion.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You think are all white supremacists? Sneako. All of them disagree with Ben Shapiro.
You're never going to be an Anglo white supremacist, Sneako.
I have no reason to be, and I never will be.
No matter how passionate you are to defend white supremacy, you'll never be one.
I'm not defending white supremacy.
You come from two failed homelands, the Philippines and Haiti.
You see how you keep going back to that?
Yeah.
See, okay,
you
need the problem.
You need to thank us for being your ass
you're
over
never
here.
Going to win. This is why they killed Malcolm X, because he spoke about Zionism.
Sir, stop it. You just babbling.
They killed Malcolm X because he spoke about Zionism, the real issue.
Sir, you're never going to be a white supremacist, Sneako. You're never.
I don't. Who wants to be? I'm a brown Muslim. I don't want to be a Christian nationalist. I'm nothing like those people.
You want to be a white supremacist.
You know what? I think I just caught on to something just now. Something very interesting. Tariq, I find it very problematic that you can't distinguish the difference between Jewish supremacy versus
there is no Jewish supremacy. It's only white
supremacy. Hold on. Let me just.
Oh my God.
Okay. And I'm gonna tell you why. Hold on. Let me tell you why.
Okay, if there's Jewish supremacy, how come the black Jews don't have no supremacy?
There's no such thing as
exactly.
Oh my God! Really?
There's no such thing as a black Jew.
Really?
What?
There is. That's how you know he's dumb.
Yeah, there's Ethiopian Jews. Because
I just brought that up. Passport. I just brought that up. I said the argument will swing if it gets nasty. Tariq will bring up the fact that there's 12 tribes of Judea, and one of the tribes were Ethiopian of dark skin.
Yeah, they're in South
if
Tel
you
Aviv.
want to argue the Jew point, you were going to have to bring that up. And the minute he did, it's going to be totally like wipe out any of the white people's arguments when it comes to Jews and domination.
Yeah, they're in South Tel Aviv. They're in the military. They're in the police force. I've met a bunch of them. I went to school with a few of them. So there's this whole no black Jews is like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
This Sneako, oh my gosh, this is like,
he's a freaking idiot. Yeah, he's an idiot.
It's like
the young kid arguing a whole bunch of points.
I think he's an idiot on purpose.
No, I just think he's an
idiot on.
You think he's doing that on purpose?
I don't know. I think he's saying whatever he can just so he could benefit his talking point. You know what I mean?
He wants to get his sound bites in the room. He wants to get his sound bites in the room, so he's just going to say anything.
Now, you know what? I think it's what you said earlier, Ronin, when you said he's trying to sort of back Tariq in the corner to where he's trying to force him to say certain things about that community. You know what I mean? About the Jews. And he don't want to do that because if he do that, he's going to lose money. So I don't know if that's the angle he's trying to come at him. But
Sneako has nothing to lose. He's lost his channels on YouTube and other sites. His last channels on Rumble. So they're all on their last leg. Yeah. He's on Rumble, so is Fresh and Fit. They've lost all their AdSense, their backings, all their sponsorships. What they're trying to do, like I said, is to drag Tariq into that abyss that they're already in by speaking out against the very people that they started speaking out against and started getting themselves eliminated off these platforms.
And
actually, they did a movie about the Israel, smuggling the Ethiopians because they were being oppressed in their nation. They was smuggling them into Israel so they can be free. They did a movie. It's called The Red Sea. Something other. It started the Chris Evans from Captain America. He starred in that, and they did. It's on Netflix.
Red Sea. I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna check that out.
I've seen that movie, but
yeah,
I've seen that movie on Netflix, but I haven't seen it. I've just seen, it's there, but I might watch it on tonight.
They don't accept black Jews. No Jew thinks a black is a Jew. Read the Talmud. They have specific
Sneako is a part of.
Man, I heard a crazy fact, bro. Well, I don't necessarily want to say it's a fact, but I heard that in the Babylonian Talmud, Loki don't want to regurgitate this, but it was stated that, and this was from a Rizza Islam, right? I heard him say this a long time ago in an interview with Corey, y'all familiar with him. But he said that in Babylonian Talmud, that he said that Jesus Christ was burnt upside down in a pile of feces, bro. That messed me up, bro. I never forgot that. This was years ago. You know what I mean? So I remember back earlier when y'all was saying that,
who would actually have that documented fact? That's just somebody throwing out some bullshit to fuck with somebody's head and basically just sound controversial. You get what I'm saying? What documentation do you know that's going to come out and say how this child in a fucking manger was born? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, Ronin. It's called the Red Sea Diving Resort.
Okay, I'm gonna look that up and take a look at it. That's always good reference.
Yeah, Red Sea Diving Resort. It's a good movie, and this was about the Mossad, how they was saving the Ethiopian Jews over from the oppression they were suffering in Ethiopia, and they was bringing them over to Israel for safety. And they still do those trips, the homeland trips. They'll fly them over to Israel for the aliyat, aliyat means immigration trips where they can be citizens. They still do that.
There's a lot of media misconceptions, and a lot of these kids have just adopted into the system of saying whatever.
Yeah.
And with, like I said, baseless. That's the whole thing about YouTube. You can say so many different baseless facts to try to discredit somebody and never have to prove yourself.
Yeah, I actually tried to look that up too, and I couldn't find it because it's a book that's with Jews. So I'm like, how the hell did you even get a hold of that book? But yeah, man, I don't know. But that goes back to when I don't know if it was one of you guys said that a lot of the Jewish people don't believe in the Christian religion. I should say, well, they believe Jesus existed, but they don't believe in his teachings or whatever. So yeah, it kind of had me, thinking or whatever. They like popped a light bulb in my head, like maybe it did happen, but I don't know. Like we don't know what the facts are. So yeah.
Stop. Y'all get letting these white fragile men really indoctrinate y'all.
Jocasta, let me just explain the difference.
Wait a minute. He said there was no such thing as a black Jew.
I just got a light bulb. Just
wait, hold on. No. We got to unpack that. There's no such thing as a black Jew. We got to unpack that. Can we please unpack?
We will in a second.
Can we please unpack that? Please.
We will.
You want to fixate on the most monotonous things. Just let Myron go.
All I was going to say was, because I think this is very important, that you don't distinguish the difference between Jewish supremacy versus white supremacy.
Because there's black Jews who don't have no supremacy nowhere. But go ahead.
Okay, that's fine. So what I'm trying to say with that is this. I think what you're conflating as white supremacy a lot of the time can also is actually really Jewish supremacy.
Then how come the black Jews don't have
the white? Okay, the white supremacists that you're talking about, like with the KKK hoods and everything else like that,
this is babbling.
Hold on, let me finish my point, bro. Because you don't even let me finish.
You're babbling.
The white supremacists that you're talking about, the Klan members, the Grand Wizards,
those are white extremists. That's white supremacy are the lawyers,
bro,
prosecutors,
holy fuck.
teachers. Come on.
Tariq, man.
Come on,
Relax.
no. I'm very
Let me finish
relaxed.
my sentence,
I'm
please.
very relaxed.
Relax.
No, you're like hopping up.
Relax.
Let me finish the sentence, man.
I'm chilling and relaxed.
No, you're not.
I'm chilling like you're
So
chilling
anyway,
back in Sudan.
No, he's sweating right now.
that you're referring to when we think of white supremacists, we're thinking of the crazy Protestants,
We ain't talking
etc.,
about
that
that.
wear the white hoods and run around
No,
and burn
that ain't
crosses,
white. No,
etc.
But
those
if
are
he's
white
telling you
supremacists.
that's not what he's talking about, Myron, you do have to let him tell you what he's talking about so you can argue his point. It's not fair for you to say this, I think this way. If he says that's not what I'm talking about, you can't keep saying, but let's argue what I'm thinking about. Let him tell you what white supremacy is to him, and then argue it.
I understand that. But what I'm saying is that in general, when people think about white supremacists, thinking about the Klan, etc., these guys are completely against Jews. These guys hate Jews. A lot of, like, you look at a guy like a Henry Ford, etc., these white supremacists that black, they're holding us down, etc. These guys are extremely critical of Jews. I think we need to make a delineation between Jewish supremacy, aka a lot of these Zionists, and then white supremacy, which is what you're.
Myron is so disingenuous the way he words things.
You do have a point. You do. I will say this. That's the point.
That's what I'm trying.
All right.
Say it again.
Myron is disingenuous the way he uses words. He's making a point, but he's using specific words in order to still propagate that there's a Jewish, what was the freaking word? It keeps escaping me every time I get ready to say it. Supremacy, a Jewish supremacy. He still used that word, even though Tariq went ahead and conceded. There's no way that you can have a Jewish supremacy when you have black Jews. It's the point Tariq was making.
Man, you already
it's a contradiction in itself.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, you know, they're just saying anything, you know, they just like reaching, like grabbing hold.
I think he wants to move the ball down the road at this point. The truth.
Yeah.
He's trying to move
he don't really have no rope to hang on, so he just like whatever he can, you know, to save face or, you know, substantiate his argument. Me personally, bro, like if somebody's arguing a fact, then you know you can like you really can't argue a fact. So yeah.
Right. Now I will say that a lot of the extreme white supremacists, a lot of them don't like Jewish people. They actually don't like white Jewish people. They do have a problem. I know some people in the alt-right, they don't like Ben Shapiro. But here's the problem. When the white supremacist Anglos and the white supremacist Jewish people get together, they all hate us. And that's all that matters.
You think it's about black people?
It all gets on anti-black racism. They all get on code against us. So their distinctions between each other don't mean a damn thing to me. That's why I look at all of them the same way. Does that make sense?
I see your perspective, but what I will say is this:
what you're saying might just be
Jewish
true.
people.
I believe. Yeah, I'm not even disagreeing. Yeah, there might be ethnic differences. Of course, there's ethnic differences. Yeah, I believe that wholeheartedly. Irish people weren't even considered white until much later. Greek people weren't even considered white until the 1920s. Yeah, a lot of people weren't even considered white. But once they did,
but what I'm saying
when they were led into whiteness, when they were able to classify themselves as white, the common thread that bonded them all together was anti-black racism, and that's the problem. So I don't have the luxury to disagree with you, Tariq. So me distinguishing their little different ethnicities under the banner of whiteness.
I don't get how this Sudanese guy is sitting here trying to have a conversation with a FBA, telling him about our history, when he has no skin in the game ancestrally.
You know what, Ronin? As soon as I heard him say that most black people are stupid or whatever, or he's giving that, you know, he said to the majority of black people, I think he's pretty much just going off of what he see on TV and, you know, what he see on social media and all these different outlets. And he's not necessarily like interacting with black people in real time. Guys like Tariq Nasheed, Umar Johnson, you know, guys like that actually have a big following in the black community. They know what the deal is, but this dude Myron, you know, he's just going off of what he see, like I said, on social media and on TV and on radio and all these things, and you know, him interacting with other white supremacists, you know, they're talking shit about black people amongst each other. You know, I think that's like the problem with him. You know, he don't actually interact with enough black people. I mean, look at how he sound when he talk. He sound whitewashed, bro. So
he is.
I mean, maybe,
but a lot of people, when they come over here immigration wise, I don't know if you remembered, you even heard this story. It was actually, it's all over. You might even be able to Google it. Egyptian teacher refuses to be called white. There's a story where this Egyptian teacher came over. He taught at a very prominent private all-white school. And this all-white school was very proud of the fact that they had all-white students and all-white teachers. To the point of this is the fact that when a lot of Arabs migrate over here or immigrate over here because of their standing in their communities overseas, they're accepted as being considered white on their immigration paperwork. This specific Egyptian teacher was a dark-skinned guy with curly hair, and he refused to allow them to consider him white. So it caused this big uproar in the school. Huh?
My thing is, why would he want to be considered? I understand you get special privileges, you know.
Exactly the point. He didn't want that special privilege if it came with the fact that he had to deny his skin tone or any other thing that had to deal with his ancestry, just for the point of, because they had money and wealth and where they came from as far as Egypt, they were more acceptable to whites than other blacks that were of his skin tone or darker. You get what I'm saying?
That's kind of like selling out in a way, right?
Exactly. So anybody that came over before him, that when it hadn't sold out, he was basically saying, how could you? Why would you?
Yeah.
And here's another thing, guys. When you look at this whole thing about racism, I mean, they're painting a very broad brush.
Yeah.
You know, on this whole thing. Because when you talk about, like they're saying, you know, Jews don't like black. Okay, which Jews? I mean, we already established there's whites and black Jews.
Right.
Okay. Now you got to dissect that further. Ashkenazi, Razis. I mean, there's so many different different groups of Jews, you know?
Right.
You know, you just can't paint a broad brush on this thing.
Exactly.
You know,
and that's why I said the usage of words are so important, and the way they use them and try to corner you by the uses of the word, because the minute you admit to something, all of a sudden you accept that definition of that word.
Exactly.
In the usage of it, when he's already been defending the fact that they're black Jews. There's no way there can be a supremacy against one race when they're also included in that race.
I was just going to say you have to include every group of Jews.
Exactly. And so when you're, like he said, painting with a broad brush and generalized terms, and you don't get into specifics, it can get real messy real quick, where one side will claim that they won the argument when they really like just painted it, like he said, with a broad brush to try to win the argument.
And you can't do that because I can tell you with the conflict that's going on, you know, a lot of that is, you know, that happened in Israel with the start of this. A lot of that was Ashkenazi Jews when they came over and started taking over the land, because there was already Jews living in Israel and they were neighbors to the Arabs that were over there. And
the Palestinians accepted them. They were forced to take the Ashkenazis or the German Jews.
Yeah, well, actually, they were from they were from Germany and France and all that stuff because they were part of the bourgeoisie.
Right.
Yeah, and they, you know, they just came over.
They had the backing of the European
Zionists. They came from that.
They had the backing of the United States. They could push their weight around more so.
Exactly, and that's when the whole Zionist party, you know, they came over and they wanted Israel to be, you know, the new Zionist camp, and that's where this whole thing started. But you already had Jews living there, and they were neighbors to those Arabs. Even when some of the conflict that was going on back in those days, you had Jewish neighbors protecting their Arab neighbors, and likewise, those are things that weren't taught. People are not talking about.
Right. You go back and look at those old maps, you'll see every part of where Israel is. It was called Palestine.
Yeah. And those are things that people don't even discuss. And I know about that because I studied that in school.
Yeah.
So you can't paint a broad brush on these topics. because you have to get very specific about.
And when you get into these theological questions and topics and everything, you have to look at people like to I call them historical revisionists. They will revise history to formulate their own conclusions and have you believe their ideas of what history was. If you don't know for yourself, they will use that against you in their storytelling and the way they weave their resolutions.
Yeah, that's most of the history in the U.S., right? A lot of history we was taught in the books. A lot of this stuff wasn't the actual history of what actually happened. So, I mean, yeah, unless you go out and seek the knowledge for yourself, you'll pretty much be regurgitating the knowledge you heard from other.
You're being regurgitated what the teachers and the education departments want you to believe.
Yep.
Okay. So,
go ahead,
Tom. Let me respond to that, Tariq. Let me respond to that. Let me respond to that, because this is where I'm going to disagree with you. You're saying that they are all anti-black. I disagree. The Jews were actually critical in the civil rights movement with funding it, helping the NAACP get forward. Jews were instrumental in the civil rights movement with funding it and standing behind it. And I'm going to tell you why. The reason why is because Jews historically have been an oppressed people, and they understand that open borders, the liberal mindsets, and democratic governments are better for their bottom line, because a lot of Jews want a one world government.
Hold on. Now, let me answer that though. All right, in the night,
sure, go ahead.
Because you have Jewish people who are white who are not racist. You have Jewish people who are white who are anti-black racists. In the 60s, there were some Jewish people.
Jewish people are not white. So we stop saying that.
All right, but
they're not white.
You had people like the Levitt brothers who created the modern suburbs, and they put in their contracts that you couldn't have black people. These were white only. If these Jewish people had Jewish supremacy, they said, we want white only, no black people in these suburbs. Many of those stores that were discriminating against black people during the civil rights era, those were Jewish-owned stores. Many of those slumlords who owned those buildings that black people were complaining about, these were anti-black Jewish people. So you had anti-black Jewish people, you had pro-black Jewish people, but the anti-black ones, they fall under the banner of white supremacy too. See how that works?
Yeah, but there's definitely a strong amount of them that supported blacks and funded the civil rights movement.
And there were some that were oppressed.
Why are y'all not listening? If y'all are trying to make the argument that Jews subvert things, it's just really hard to listen to y'all make the argument when y'all say, I can't wait to get him here. Then when y'all get him here, y'all keep letting him off the hook. If you're telling people that Jews subvert people, then why wouldn't you just acknowledge they subverted that whole movement too? That some of them back blacks, some of them back the whole white side. It's like y'all just can't say it.
But Tommy,
thank you.
Just admit it. Tommy.
Yeah.
Huh?
Historically, they back both sides. That's just what.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But they won't. It's like the people are trying. Like, listen, I'm not the fan of Tariq, but I hate when people argue a fallacy with someone.
Thank you.
And then they let him off, and then they wonder how they got him off. Because what you're arguing is you refuse to acknowledge the other side. If your argument is that Jews subvert things, why would you then argue with Tariq when he's telling you they subverted this? Why would you argue that?
Because he just understood that it's a different ethnicity. He doesn't realize that.
No, he did it. He said
I acknowledged it.
They don't listen well. They don't.
So they don't listen?
They don't listen well. They do not listen well. They are wanting to just respond. That's why I like Tommy. And even when we got to interview him, he identified that with me. We're fucking straight on this shit. We listen intently. We don't just listen just to want to respond. And the way they're using their words and the way they're inflecting certain things, they're not focused on making their points and moving on to the next topic. That's why I said about kicking the ball down the road. At some points, Tariq is just letting them kick the ball down the road, but he's already hit his talking points where he proved this point with black Jews. He's already hit his talking point where he made his point on this and that, and they're all just sitting there trying to dispel everything. Their point is all of us gang up on Tariq, but they're not listening to when he concedes, when he actually agrees with certain things or allows them to agree with certain things to kick the ball down the road, you know?
I think it was like none of them was really prepared. It was all pretty much like improv, and since they wasn't prepared, they didn't really know, how to really come
But
into it. So
preparation
they
is
just,
life. These are your talking points and these are your beliefs. You should be able to jump on a mic and say them over and over and over again because these are the things you believe. Now, if you're just sitting there doing this because you're rehearsing it and you're just trying to do it because you're trying to sensationalize it for clicks and views and whatever, that's where you get stumped on how you bring up and talk about certain things. Tariq lives and breathes this shit. You get what I'm saying? It's not something he's just doing for a fucking talking point because it's a hot topic. These guys, as you can see, are doing this because it's a fucking hot topic. It's not real to them. They don't have any fucking skin in the game. You got a Sudanese guy. You got is a mixed race between Filipino, white, and fucking Haitian. You got all these disingenuous guys. Now, the ones that should be in the mix are the white guys. What white guy have you heard chime in to say anything? None of them. They're all the other guys. They're all the fucking Sudanese guy. It's Sneako sitting there talking and arguing. The white guys are quiet. Why? Because they're doing the work for them.
yeah, man, it's sad, you know, you got your own people, you know, speaking against you, but you know, I guess that's just the world we live in, man.
And they're not even our own people. To Tariq's point, you're all foreigners. You're tethers. You're sitting here defending a race of people that you have no skin in the game, and why we're so objective in our positioning on why we're positioned the way we are because of our history with these same people.
I'm saying, you know, I can't trust nobody that was caught laying in bed with other men, but you know, with that being said, I'm gonna let this shit play. Like if I found out that my fucking brother, not even my brother, but one of my best friends was laying in bed with other random niggas that he don't know, I might not even text him back. You know, I'm gonna give that nigga a side eye, like, I don't trust you, bro. But yeah. Not only is you in the bed with him, but you also talking shit about, you know, me and other races of people that look like me. On top of it, it's like, bro, I don't understand like your disposition right now. Like I don't know.
And
I acknowledge it. Yeah, a lot of white people come from different ethnic backgrounds.
Okay, but
when they all get together,
that's where y'all should have now stuck. Once he
keeps saying that. He keeps saying that they're from.
See, Tommy trying to keep him in order. Point of order. He's trying to keep him in place.
Yeah, but they're classified as white.
Go ahead, play it. I'm just adding commentary on top of it. Tommy just
I'm gonna say this one thing. That's why he won a rematch, because in that argument, in that debate, he wasn't prepared. Now that he offered a rematch, you know, he can come with all his, you know, troll rhetoric or whatever with the dude Andrew Wilson. That way they can come prepared to, you know, take him down. But like I said earlier, it's gonna be a situation where in order for you to, you know, even come at me for a rematch, you have to, you know, pony up some bread. But it ain't gonna happen. Yeah.
But again, like here's the thing for all people that love history, and actually studied it for themselves, not just what people were told or you looked at it in a movie. You actually cracked open some books and you read several different books on the same topic. For all those that love history like that, I don't give a fuck what you say. That's a nice thing about history. It's like mathematics for me too. History and mathematics are my two favorite subjects. Why? Because they can never fucking lie. 1 + 1 is always going to be fucking 2. Okay. So with history, once it's documented and it's already passed, you can't go back and change it. Nobody's got a fucking time machine. You get what I'm saying? You can always try to revise. Listen, you can always try to change the tale of history. But that's why I said if you read multiple books and you do your own research and you really dig and see what's up from those books, what really makes sense and what doesn't, that's where you can come up with the truth of it. And that's why I said it comes up to your own discernment and your own research. If you just read one history book and listen to one fucking history teacher, then you're only going to come up with one version of what real history was. And I've always said history goes to the winners. Whoever records history is always the winner that gets to record it in his light, not the truth of what really happened.
I definitely agree with that. Yep, that's a fact.
black ass.
But you're not seeing where he doesn't understand. It's like they're classified that within the group because they want to be undercover as white people to divide white and black people to have ultimate control. That's what you don't seem to understand. And you're also overestimating the anti-black racism. That's the smallest problem. See, you're here with
not.
It's
No,
the
it's not.
smallest
That's
issue.
what
That's
you
why
think.
you're here with the suit in your profile picture.
Hold up, I'm gonna let it play real quick. I just want to state something. Now he's against like black people, right? But look what he just said. He said Sneako. He be talking shit about black people, right? In general, just same as Myron, right? But look what he just said. He said that the Zionists are trying to get black and white people, to go against one another, in order for us like a divide and conquer type shit, right? So,
which is true.
That's their thing. Yeah, like if that's their thing, why are you sort of promoting it in your
in your own point? Yeah, your own talking points. A very good point. Yeah, very good point. You caught on to that.
That's crazy to me, but I think he's just saying anything he can to to justify his argument or prove his point or whatever. Yeah.
He's wearing a suit. The majority of black Americans, they wear their pants sagging. They wear nothing. They wear bras. They're out there with red hair because they subverted hip hop culture.
So here we go with these tropes again.
Let me explain.
Okay, the majority.
Zionists made black culture through hip hop to make it degenerate, and that's why you're a millionaire up here and you're not giving away your money for reparations because they use hip hop.
Why should I give my money
black
away?
People think of themselves as victims forever. It's anti-black racism.
Why should I give my money away?
Is the smallest issue of their problems. All they know that they can control through culture to keep people at the bottom. Anti-black racism is the smallest of their issues.
So why don't y'all stay the fuck out of my culture, right? And stop perpetuating the worst of it, right? If you're not of it, right? Stick to your ethnicity, right? Whatever shithole country you come from, whatever failed government, right? And stay into that, right?
Well, I was born in America.
I don't give a fuck where you were born. You have
you fled from Europe,
ethnicity, right? You have a culture and ethnicity. That's real, right? Stick to that, right? I don't want to hear you up here speaking in our lingo, trying to talk fucked up AABE. Stick to what you know, because it's also a lack of understanding, right? And it's being intellectually honest about history.
Do you know I'm part black? Do you know that?
It has nothing to do with it, right?
No, because there's a lot of white people with black backgrounds. There's a lot of white people who got black back. That don't mean anything.
So what is a black person then?
Can I ask you something, Sneako?
Good question. I'm a foundational black American. I know what that is.
You keep saying foundational. What does that mean?
I know what that is. I can define that. But yeah, other black folks, that let them define what their blackness means. I'm a foundational black American.
Hold on. Read this comment. He said, "Plugged in with the rock. History can lie." Plugged in with the rock. He said, "Sneako exposes himself as racist on this one. Bad look for him." Thanks.
Okay, whatever you want to use to make yourself feel special. Do you believe you were here before the native? Special terminology, foundational, whatever. Like they want to keep you as a victim forever. What you don't seem to understand is that Zionists want you to be in this victim mentality.
Oh no, that's a deflection. No,
it's not a deflection.
No,
they want you to think you're special.
Your ass. You the problem, not the Zionists.
I'm the problem. The Filipino black guy is the problem.
Because you try to come over here and align yourself with white supremacy.
Filipino Haitian.
Yeah, and by the way, it was a foundational black American who stopped the Filipinos.
Well, okay, that's a serious allegation. Where do I try to align myself with white supremacy, Tariq?
You just got your damn tooth knocked out for hanging around a bunch of white supremacists in Detroit.
Tell me, like, based on my ideology, how do I try to align with white supremacy?
Because you were sitting up there trying to antagonize a foundational black American brother, and he gave you a Harriet Tubman fist in your damn mouth.
Okay, because I'm trying to antagonize you.
Did you not just hear your tropes about how the black, what you think of the black community?
Right, and that's why you have a student. The majority of black Americans don't. Do the majority of black Americans dress like you and appear like you and speak like you? Yes or no?
We're not a monolith. We have a whole spectrum of the way we get down. That's the great thing. That's the great thing. No, there's no majority anything. No. That's the great thing about foundational black Americans. Our culture is very vast. We have the sexy reds. We got the middle class people, and we got the heroes like the Rosa Parks and the Dr. Kings and the Malcolm X's and the Tariq Nasheeds and people like that.
Right, you're talking about
that's the great thing about our culture.
But Tariq, so why were you able to become a millionaire in a white supremacist black America?
Because I am a phenomenal foundational black American.
He's being sarcastic.
Oh my God! Red.
Black passport blueprint was like sexy red. as an example, and I was like, he's being sarcastic at this point.
That was
talking about the diversity of our culture. He's talking about the extreme diversity of our
he's
culture.
going off the class, yeah. It's like you got 6 red at the bottom, and then you work your way up until
right.
And I guess the us and the 3. Yeah, I sort of hate he put sexy red in that mix, but it is what it is.
You didn't answer my question. Why? This is true, and every black person knows this.
And many of us are very phenomenal. We know how to go out here and get it.
So why do the majority of black Americans dress with their pants sagging and look up?
They don't. Red? The majority of black Americans do not dress with their damn pants. Because they vote Democrat. They do not. The majority of black Americans don't. See, you guys, you look at things.
The majority of black Americans don't worship celebrities and hip hop.
No, you worship
they
them.
don't.
Okay, he's being racist.
Because you have to see.
I'm a white supremacist who idolizes.
Can you pause it real quick?
The majority of Filipinos eat dogs and sell their kids to sex traffickers. Are we gonna do that?
True. Hit the pause button real quick. Darnell has a point.
You don't seem to know the differences between.
So I just wanted to. I mean, does anybody kind of disagree right there with what Sneako said about in black culture about worshiping celebrities and things of that nature? Does anyone?
Absolutely. Anybody with any intelligence knows better than that.
Well, I mean,
they don't set the standard for our culture. They just happen to be in front of it because of their popularity. But popularity doesn't mean they set the standard or the tone.
Well, I mean, allow me to play devil's advocate.
I would say all races pretty much go. All races pretty much, fall into that category as far as like, worshiping celebrities and stuff like that. I don't really know any statistics data on it, but I know just off my own experience in living life, like everybody I know, like listen to rap music and go to concerts and all those different things. So
yeah,
I think like we're also the face of it, but yeah, generally like all races, pretty much get down.
Well, like here's the issue that I've seen in the black community, and I remember this, like I said, because I grew up, right after Tupac, Biggie, after they died. Then, I just remember being in Detroit at the time, living in Detroit, and you had song Still Fly.
Hold on.
You blinked out for a second. Songs.
No, I did that on accident. I was trying to add him to the stage.
Oh, okay.
Make a solo layout.
So I just remember when Big Timers had the song "Still Fly." About anybody remember that song? They were talking about this is when the Escalade first came out. And I just remember how black people were, especially in Detroit. I can't speak for other areas, but in Detroit, I mean, you had people going out buying all these cars they couldn't afford, and it was all had to do with music, because some rapper told them, go out, buy an Escalade. I'm fly. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter if you ain't got the money, you still fly. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get the girls. You're gonna it don't matter that you live in a house that looked like a crack house, but you spending all this money on a car that you can't afford, and then anybody remember them spending rims? Yeah. 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 I mean, but I'm just saying, like, I do believe Sneako has a point where there is a little bit too much worship on these celebrities, like, or in the black community where we, too many young black men and black women are worshiping these celebrities. They're worshiping the sexy reds now. I mean, let's face it.
But Darnell, here's the thing, even to your point, back in the day before rap and all that became famous, it was always entertainers, in the 80s, it was the guys that ran the drugs. They were the ones that had the money. At the end of the day, it was all about the fact that you had single mothers raising these young men without positive role models in their families. You get what I'm saying? Because they were all out on the streets doing either drugs, either doing them themselves or selling them. The dissolution of the black nuclear family has been going on since the 60s.
Oh yeah,
and it's just
absolutely.
progressively each generation, every 10 to 15 years, has just gotten progressively worse. And now we're at the point where you're using the sexy red as an example, but ultimately, that's a society change over a period of 40, 50, 60 years, damn near. And it's sad, but it's true at the same time. Our community as a whole has been decimated through the dissolution and the acceptance of, mothers having babies out of wedlock, no fathers being present. Religion in itself has been so corrupted in the black churches, nobody even wants to go to church anymore because it's a money pit, and they're kowtowing to these women that are sitting there having babies, and they're not speaking to the negativity of why it's acceptable for them to come up in that church and have a baby out of wedlock. Where's their husband? Where's their covering? Where are all the things you're teaching as a tradition within our community? They're gone. And this is why you have the community the way it is right now.
Let me throw a little correction in what you just said, Ronin. They're not being raised by single mothers. They're being raised by television. They're being raised by the internet.
That's true too. Yeah.
And that's what I think Sneako was trying to say, is that in the black community, that's where the worship comes from. They're being
that's
raised
the younger
by
community. That's not the whole thing. He's talking in general that we're all being influenced by that. We're not all being influenced by those things.
No, not everyone. I mean, it would be no different than, not every black woman is influenced by sexy red, So, but in general, I mean, wouldn't you agree that television, music is probably too influential on our youth
nowadays?
Yeah,
sure, I can agree with that.
I mean, hell, even before social media, like like I said, I mean, the
no,
rap
I wouldn't
music.
go back that. No, because we were outside before social media, before the advent of the internet. We were outside.
But we were
doing constructive things. We were doing destructive things, but we're doing them to ourselves.
But
the world wasn't so fucking small back then.
But I mean, it wasn't as small, but you did have BET, right? I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I used to watch a little bit of BET myself. I mean, now granted, I would balance it with some CNN and stuff like that. But
BET came out when I was in high school. That's before I graduated, bro.
But BET wasn't as raunchy back then.
It wasn't. Yeah, a lot of things were
unacceptable. It was.
You still had love songs. No, it was not.
It was not.
Now you had
you
towards the
BET?
later part of the 80s, you had Midnight After Dark BET. Now they were
there. You go.
Midnight Love. Yeah, I remember that show.
Yeah.
You had some of the
BET
videos that was starting to play towards the end of the 80s. I was already out of high school, man. I was already in the military by then. But I get what your point. Like I said, slowly but surely over that last 60 years, with the lack of guidance, this is what our society has, degraded into.
It's been on a slow decline. Technology has been on the rise, but moral ethics and all those different things have been on a decline. So, yeah.
Yep.
Races. The majority of Filipinos are hardworking. I'm asking you about the average black person.
And the majority of black Americans are hardworking.
And we're hardworking.
The majority of black Americans are hardworking?
Yes.
Yeah, they are. Yes, they are.
Are they? Okay, so why are they on welfare? Why do they commit most of the violent crimes?
That's white women.
They don't. Well, sir, we ain't fleeing like
welfare would be the single mamas, not the men.
Get up out of
because I was born in this country just like you.
But like an anchor baby. That's right. They had to flee and anchor your ass here because you failed.
You know what being born somewhere is? I don't understand. See, you actually think the majority of black Americans, no, genuinely, and this is not like you're going to think this is racist. You actually think the majority of black Americans are hardworking?
Yes, they are. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, they are.
What are the industries?
Absolutely, they
what
are.
What are the industries that black Americans work on? What do you dominate in as black Americans?
What do you mean? What we dominate in? What as far as what? What do you mean? What we dominate?
Okay, in the workforce. In the workforce, where do you dominate?
So shout out to black women being the most educated.
The workforce.
No, don't say that. That's not true.
Don't say that. Yeah.
No, they're not. They're the most enrolled.
Tommy,
Stop lying.
They're the most indebted.
You take the most amount of wealth.
You said they're the most in debt.
They're the most
that is
indebted
true.
and
They
the
are
most enrolled.
I
Yes.
will say
Yeah.
this: we are making our emergence in cybersecurity. We are starting. I mean, we're not dominating in it, but we're making our presence known in that arena, cybersecurity and IT. And you can see on YouTube, you see a lot of us, with our YouTube channels dealing with cybersecurity and IT.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, and I know a lot of us brothers that are nomads are focused in that arena.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's true.
You want me to answer the question? Or you
You're
just
so
gonna keep
hardworking.
pushing?
Where do you dominate?
Sir, violent crime. You
Nigga,
come
what? Did he just say that for real?
Oh my gosh.
Your lineage is
Y'all want me to go back a little bit because I kind of
He's racist, man. Like, you can, but I'm just like, these racist, man, and these talking points are fucking hilarious. Well, next thing you know, the watermelon and the fucking fried chicken is gonna come out here in a minute. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit!
The fuck?
Okay. Derogatory shit. It's like club games with the right shit, bro. You already exposed it to being racist.
violent. The Philippines is crime and violence over there, sir. You come from there.
Absolutely.
That's why you had to flee. You can't point your finger at us. The majority of black people don't commit crimes. That's a lie. The
Okay, so where
majority
do you
of black
dominate in the
people
workforce? You're so hardworking. You're running from that question. Where do you dominate in the workforce? Where do you dominate in the workforce?
No, white supremacy
Where do you
dominates
dominate in the
everything.
workforce, Tariq? You're so hardworking. Where?
Can we answer, or are you going to keep answering the same question?
See, when I say that, everybody knows the answer. You dominate in the NBA, the NFL, and hip hop. That's the systems that you dominate.
Wow. Like I said, fried chicken and watermelon's coming.
Yeah.
I'm dominating you in space right now because you're drowning about
Okay, all right. At least we dominate.
Don't fall into that track, Tariq. Don't ask him that. But he's going to say the healthcare market.
You sound stupid and you sound uninformed, right?
At least we dominate in that. Okay. At least we dominate in music. At least we dominate in sports. At least we dominate in basketball.
See, there's the answer. In music,
you don't dominate. Okay, all right. At least we dominate in that. You don't dominate in
man. That's the answer. Music.
You dominate in fleeing.
Music and sports.
That means we're doing better than you.
That
means we're doing better than
the
you.
economy forward, Tariq.
That means we're doing
music and hip music and basketball.
And your shit whole country ain't dominating in shit but American bases, right? And Haiti is fucking failing. This is what I'm talking about. I cannot debate with.
Sneako, you can't say nothing, Sneako. You don't dominate in nothing. At least we got sports and music. You don't even have that.
Okay, so is that hardworking music and sports?
Yep.
Yeah, it is hard work.
Maybe that's why black people are not succeeding.
If it was so easy, why didn't you do it?
Okay, so maybe that's why
are you not
succeeding.
doing it?
Because instead of becoming lawyers, doctors, instead of moving the economy forward, you stick to hip hop and basketball.
Mm-hmm. And you don't have anything to stick to but fleeing and dog meat.
Yeah, that's Chinese people, retard. You don't know
that's you.
Zico, your arguments aren't arguments, Zico. Seriously, you listen to what you just asked. And then when they gave you examples, you said they're not good examples.
Okay, he said
what do Mexicans lead in?
No, Tommy,
okay, what do Mexicans lead in?
That is the argument. He said black people are hardworking. I'm
just curious, what do Mexicans lead in?
They're very hardworking people.
Okay, and they lead in
well, what? You can't just say that. You said industry. He said black people are hardworking. So you asked him specific industries. So then I asked, what do Mexicans lead in?
Landscaping.
Okay, you see what I'm saying? Like you could turn and then not
so racial in their fucking answers, bro. I swear to God.
Made under the table and aren't American citizens.
And they're a burden on the system. Let's keep it
so if you do that, y'all are giving this man the win, and it's sad to watch.
So there's no win. He's saying that they're hardworking, but he can't even think of an industry besides crack. Where do you work hard?
Oh my God! What the fuck is he saying?
See, that's what's not.
You know.
Are we doing the drug thing?
You know very well. That's wait.
Tariq is waiting for some of these to open up.
And blacks don't lead in drugs.
Cole, did he go to the drug for real? The
he
drugs
said crack, and blacks don't lead in this. That's what these kind of arguments then make you do sound crazy if you're listening to this. And so whenever Tariq made the same kind of stereotypical remarks about his people, he got upset.
Right. See, but
And then he turns right around and
you get
keeps making them
victimized
about
about the
black.
racist jokes. When you talk about eating dogs, I don't victimize myself because you know very well the average Black American does not work hard. They're not. You're
That's
not
a lie.
hard. Black
That's a
Americans
lie.
will use victimization to not work
That's
hard.
a lie.
To get
We don't have an
welfare.
option but to work hard. We don't get anything. We have to work hard. We don't have any other option but to work hard. We don't get anything.
Yeah, if you did
that's
work
for
hard,
everybody.
you
What are
would
you
succeed.
talking
Go ahead and
about?
pause that real quick. Pause that real
Because the
quick.
vast it's just not because of the.
I just want to accentuate what Tariq just said when he said we have to work hard because we don't get anything. We work in a system, Black Americans, that we automatically disadvantaged. So for anything a Black American has, he's literally had to work hard to get it. Because it's not given to us easily like other cultures it's given to. We don't get that fucking break that some of these other cultures get to when they get here. We get it literally, and that phrase comes up over and over again. We get it out the fucking mud here, where some of them are handed it initially to get them started. So when Tariq says that, it's God honest truth.
Yeah, I agree with that. You know, just because, and then one of the points that I wanted to just say, I mean, just because, you know, I think there's this misconception of equating wealth to working hard. You know, so when you just talk about, okay, you can't say, okay, well, people don't work hard. If they're broke, that means they're not working hard. You know, that's not true. Like, I just one job in particular, I think is one of the most demanding jobs ever is a school teacher. School teachers work very hard.
Nowadays, it's definitely hard.
Yeah, it's even worse now. And
These
guess
kids
what?
are just totally disrespectful.
Totally disrespectful. And they have the most important job. They're training the future of America. You know, they're getting them ready. You know, they're the ones that are training the Mark Zuckerbergs, the Steve Jobs, the Barack Obamas, and you know, they have the hardest job. Yet they don't make anything.
I think some people in the chat would disagree with some of the terms you used and some of the people as examples.
Well, I mean,
he's saying I'm just messing with you though.
Look, it's all good, but you know, go ahead.
Yeah, there's somebody in the stage in the back named Mercy.
What's his name?
Justice. Does anybody know who it is?
Mercy Justice. I know of him. He's been on several panels I've been on before.
Yeah, I've heard of. Yeah, I was on a panel with him earlier today.
Yeah.
Okay, what's up, Mercy Justice, bro? How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, is NYC King in the back too? Bring him up.
NYC King, I don't see him. Hold up. I don't see him.
He said he's in the back. He's one of my mods, but he is also. Let me see if.
No, I see him. I actually two people.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Hold up. I got.
Hey.
Okay.
NYC Kings is definitely good.
Wait a minute. Hey, I got two people. Actually, I got my dad in the back too.
What? Come on, man. Bring him up. Yes. Bring him up. Bring him up.
My dad.
That's cool, man.
I got my dad, and I got another guy named NYC King. So yeah.
I know NYC Kings. He's good. He's one of my mods, and he's a good guy.
Okay.
What's up? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, first of all, respect to the brothers on the panel. Respect for Ronin for letting me be blessed to be on your panel. You say, what does Mexicans do? Well, they sneak over the damn border. That's what they do. And us black men, we have to work hard to get what we want. Exactly. And we can salute our black women, but we also got to salute our black men because some of us are raising families alone. I was a single father and raised 3 children by myself. My son is now on an aircraft carrier in Japan. Okay, we do work hard, even though if you notice, you look on YouTube, you see all the cop shows, all the cops are white and they're killing the brothers. They've been trying to eliminate us for years. In different cultures like the Jews, they got it made. They get all the welfare, they get everything they want, and they stick together. It's hard for the black culture to stick together. We watch and we see all the Puerto Rican Day parades and our Afro-American Day parades. We got to make sure there's not gunfight there. So we got to learn how to somehow stick together. The economy is not built for us to survive, but there are my doctor's black, my psychiatrist is black. So we are doing different things. We just don't play basketball and eat watermelon, from what I heard.
Right.
If you're a strong-minded man, black, white, Puerto Rican, green, you're going to make it, especially a strong-minded black man. This culture's got a way of calling us niggas because of what they see. Oh, look at the niggas killing each other again. That's how they look at us. Okay, slave master is now the police. Okay, because every few years there's a choke out, a murder, a shooting. It ain't when it's gonna. It ain't when it's gonna happen. It's the next time it's going to happen. And what do we got to do? Live with it. As soon as we get pulled over, black.
Hey, can I chime in a little bit?
Just 1 second. You guys could have been chatting all over each other. You know, we get pulled over, we get scared, even though we ain't did nothing wrong, because we don't know what they got in store for us. You know, so salute to the black man. Okay, I've struggled. I've been in shelters with my kids. When I left my baby's mother, I left her house, took my kids, and went to a shelter, and worked my way out of it. Strong-minded. Strong-minded. I've been hurt, damaged, crippled. I worked my way out of it. I got back on my feet. Strong-minded. You know, so we could do anything that we want to do. Just don't let them stereotype us like the way they plan. Like, I got problems with my neighbors. They've been trying to get me in court. But guess who I got in court? Them. You flip the tables. You flip the tables on. You do to them what they try to do to you. So now they're in court looking stupid, and I sit in the front row and laugh at them. You flip the tables. You use your mind, your education, heart, spirit, and soul, and you can overcome anything. All right? That's all I got to say.
Thanks, Kings.
Bring
your
right
pop
quick.
up,
Do
man.
anybody know somebody? No. Do anybody know somebody named Big E?
Big who?
Big E.
No, I can't say I do.
He needs to cam up, but at least let your dad up, man.
I knew Biggie before they killed him.
Stop. Stop. So my dad got a name. Well, everybody know my dad called him Big E, and there was a guy named Big E that was in the chat. But when I seen his face in the backstage, I didn't recognize him as being my dad. I'm like, who the hell is this dude named Big E? So I thought that was my dad that was Big E, but I think that was somebody. Yeah. So yeah. So I don't really know.
I don't know
who
him personally, but he could have been riding in on somebody else that's been following the live. Because I'm broadcasting, you're broadcasting, so a lot of people will trail in here based on like 6 degrees of separation. Let's put it that way.
No broadcaster from 2 channels.
Yeah, I'm simulcasting.
Well, anyway, if for both channels, everybody hit the like button if you pop in. It don't cost you nothing to do it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share, and cash apps are welcome. All right.
It's facts.
So I plugged in there for you.
I just want
to. Hey, he's struggle streaming right now. That's why you still on center stage. He ain't brought us all back up yet.
I'm outside walking the dog, man. I'm outside walking my pit bull. Because I'm stereotyped.
All right,
I'm black.
Biggie, you got a mic?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, bro. We just didn't know who you were.
Yeah, Biggie. I thought you was my dad. Cause my dad.
Can y'all hear me?
Too, so.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, look, I just wanted to chime in. What the point that I think Tariq is saying is, we actually fought for these people's civil rights, and when you actually look at their countries, they're not doing better than foundational Black Americans. Like, I was recently in Ensenada because I'm from Compton. Dude, all of these countries are doing way worse than us. I mean, all of them. And when they come over here and speak the stuff that they speak about us, it's like, okay, bro, you had to run from your country because those same systems have literally decimated your countries. If you notice in black areas, black project areas look better than the areas that they come from. Particularly Myron, he come from the Sudan. Okay, his people are out there jacking cargo ships like they Captain Phillips talking about, I'm your captain now. So when they be coming over here and talk about black people, they didn't fight for nothing in their country. They ran to come get civil rights. And then they turn around and want to point their finger at us. Okay, if we didn't include people of color in a lot of those bills, you would still be over there in your country. Okay, when you talk about black American roots, we've been fighting, we've been getting things out the mud. Y'all see the old films of dogs being sicked on us, water hoses, the police. Y'all saw all of this. This stuff is documented. Wasn't none of them around back then.
It's still happening.
But guess what? The same system, right. And the same system that kept us oppressed went through the Philippines, where Sneako was from, ravaged it. They went through Haiti, ravaged it. They don't even let Haitians in the country, even though the border's wide open. If you a black immigrant, they gonna get on horseback and whip and tell you to go back where you came from. They're not even letting the black immigrants over here. So it's like, dude, whatever's going on in your homeland, if it was so great, why are you running? Do y'all realize that these people are running out of their country by the millions? Okay, we're not talking about just a few border hoppers. We're talking about the millions. Guess who's footing that tax bill? Guess who's paying for their health? Guess who's paying for their dental? Guess who's paying for their... They're shipping immigrants all over the country in black areas. So when these people come over here and talk about black people, bruh, we're paying for you. We're like, if it wasn't for us, you would still be stuck in your country with nothing. You come over here and want to be a rapper. You come over here and want to set up your businesses. You can't do that. Why you can't do that at home? Like, why do you need our money? Like right now, you know, Kendrick Lamar just had a concert. The Latinos are mad because they say they was left out. Well, bro, make your own show. Why do you always need to come get what we got? You know what I'm saying? They make it seem like they come over here and do something different. They're in the same county buildings. They're at the same jobs. They're at the same stores. They selling dope on the same blocks. They smoke. What are they doing so different that we wasn't already doing? We work just as hard. We worked so hard that when you got over here illegally, you automatically had rights. You didn't even fight for rights in your own country. You don't have civil rights in your country. You can't go to your country and make YouTube streams about you know what I'm saying? You can't do that.
That's right. And you want to know what?
All I'm saying is they come over here. Go ahead.
You want to know what? They make slavery ain't over. You know, like I said, I watch a lot of cop shows and stuff. You know, they walk white people to the police car and give them handcuffs. You know what they do to us? They mace us. They beat us down. They choke us out. Why? Because we black. Slavery ain't gone. Slavery is still strong. Now, Joe Biden was nice enough to open up the goddamn border. Let them all in. Let them all in.
For what?
Now, they're in New York raping 13-year-olds at school and fighting cops.
Facts.
Okay? Selling drugs and raping people. You know, they you know what? They come back and forth through the border like it's this train. They know how to get in and out. The person that just got arrested for tying up two 13-year-olds, a boy and a girl, and then raping her, he been coming back and forth. So
that's ridiculous.
The streets are cleaner, our brothers, because they locked all this up. Because being in prison is big business for these people.
Yep.
Big business to lock up a black person.
Yeah, but see, we as black people have been dealing with racism from the English-speaking ones. Now you got these Spanish-speaking ones. That's the new race soldiers now. You get what I'm saying? It's like, dude, like I'm from Compton. I'm in Cali right now. The racism that come with these Latinos is worse than these white people because the Latinos is next door to you. When you go to jail, see, it's like this. They act like they cool on the street. Then when you go to jail, they team up with the Aryan Brotherhood against you. But that same Aryan Brotherhood is the reason that you got ran up out your country, or you running out your country by the millions. And when they get over here, it's, oh, well, black people are lazy. We wasn't that lazy. You brought your ass over here where we was. You want to work where we work. You want to rap like us. You want to look like us. Right. So, you know, when you come over here, you need to say, black people, you know what, thank you, because if y'all wouldn't have fought for our civil rights too, we would be stuck in the colonization of our own country. See, we the only people that didn't run. We didn't have no borders to run to, so we had to fight. When you look at these other countries right now today, Watts look better than a lot of their countries. These countries are so bad that they got mail order brides. You could marry somebody to get them out that country. Okay, you don't see people wanting green cards to leave out the USA. They want green cards to come to the USA. Okay, if you hate us so bad, why are you not staying where you at and build up where you're from? Haiti got a whole country. They so much better than these guys, but you trying to run up out your country. Mexico is so great, but everybody is coming through Mexico over here. Okay? You're coming over here to what was already built because apparently you couldn't do it where you from. Apparently you couldn't fight for civil rights where you from. Apparently they don't have none of the things that you claim you can do over here. Apparently they don't have none of that in your own country. You have to come over here and tell us how lazy we are because you ran out of your country. Well, why you couldn't work in your country? Why does your country look like hell?
You want to know why it works for them? Because they come over here with their wives and women, and they have tons of babies and kids. And we, as polite as we are, we give them free food stamps, free housing, free everything, free medical, okay? Which they can't get.
Well, how you gonna call us lazy? But how do you call us lazy when you come over here and get free everything? Though, how are we lazy?
Free every shit that
I
we
mean, and that's to
get.
our point. That's to the point of what we're listening to on the podcast is how extreme the points that they're making. Because we're sitting here going over a podcast full of racists against Tariq. Okay, so the points you guys are making, you're absolutely correct. You know what I mean? And it, like I said, I'm just waiting for the watermelon and the fried chicken to come out, you know, based on the talking points of these guys on the panel. But Tariq is staying in the pocket because they're all trying to be trolly to get him to speak specifically against a certain race so that he could get his channel banned and all of a sudden get
exactly
based on his talking points. They'll clip the shit out of that and run it until the cows come home just to make a big deal about it. So he's staying on his post. You know what I'm saying? So just kind of land that horse so we can kind of get through this review. I appreciate you guys putting that in. True, it's on you, brother.
You're projecting your.
Yeah, I'm just continue.
You come
No,
from
I'm actually a success at a very young age. I'm half your age and I'm more successful than you. No. Because the average
You're not more successful than me.
They ride off of the victimization that you promote.
Sir, you come from two failed cultures. You're not successful, sir. You can't even get your tooth fixed. You got knocked out today, sir. You come from two failed cultures.
Come on, cut it out.
All right. I just want to interject something here real quick. I just want like 30 seconds to just make my point here. This entire argument is ridiculous. I'm going to say why. We're talking about the United States of America. Everyone has opportunity here. Whether people want to go ahead and say, oh, well, I'm victimized and I can't have the same opportunities because of the color of my skin. I think that's a bunch of bullshit. It's up to you if you're going to become successful or not. Whether you come here as an immigrant or you're born here as a foundational Black American, it doesn't matter. You got to go out there and fucking work. The color of your skin is no longer, hold on, the color of your skin is no longer a valid excuse to say that you're being oppressed by the man or whatever.
Coming from a Sudanese man.
Like you're here as a fucking, you're here as a guest, so shut the fuck
Myron,
up.
you ain't even built like
What I
that,
was saying
bitch.
was,
You got a bad over.
come here. Okay, anyway, man. Fucking clown. I don't even know why he's talking. So, like I was saying, you guys are going ahead and saying that the problem stem because of race. I'm saying that the problem stem because of stupidity. If you deserve to be successful and you work hard, you will get it. Your skin color has nothing to do with that. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
And again, that's why
And to defeat that, we then, if we're saying that, to defeat that,
and with that logic, and I always go back to your homeland. If it's all about being stupid and not race, are you saying everybody from the Sudan is stupid because they got oppressed and their homeland has failed because they didn't build it?
I'm talking about the United States of America. I find it interesting that you always
that
bring it
logic
back.
should apply
I find it
anywhere.
interesting you always bring it back.
Stupidity is not just in the United States, sir. Stupidity is stupidity no matter where it is. And that logic should apply to
you
your
have
homeland.
different opportunities in different lands. That's actually
hold on.
you have
Yeah,
different
because
opportunities.
let me tell you why this stupidity matters where you are, Tariq. Because I'll tell you why. Because in the United States of America, you get a free education. You're in a first world country. We have running water and electricity. And if you don't have that, you can go ahead and get welfare. So everyone has an enormous amount of opportunity in the United States compared to other third world countries. So what I'm saying is this: if someone comes here with $1 in their fucking pocket and can't speak the English language, finds a way to become a millionaire, become successful, guess what? They did a lot better than the foundation of the Black American that was born and raised here, that knew the language, that's going to sit there and complain. Hold on, let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. Let me just finish what I'm saying. If someone comes here and doesn't even have a fucking green card and finds a way to get citizenship here, builds a business, makes a bunch of money, doesn't even speak the language, well, guess what? He did a lot better and is smarter than the foundation of Black American that's crying about the system, saying, I'm being so oppressed when he had the opportunity.
This is where I have a problem. Because in this country, they weren't letting brown immigrants like you come over here for a long time. You understand that? This country was not letting African immigrants come over here. It was the foundational Black Americans who worked hard and kicked ass in the 1960s and said, we're going to change these laws. Let these brothers over here. When you come over here and say that, yeah, we over here now, we're so much smarter and better than those foundational Black Americans who actually were the ones fighting to get me over here, that's a very disrespectful mindset to have. And that's the problem that we're having now. That's why we're delineating from that mindset, sir. You understand that?
Can I respond to that? Okay, so if you were born and raised here, you have an American citizenship, and you were able to speak the English language, and you had the foundationally Black American experiences you claim, right? And you had all these resources at and then someone comes to Syria, doesn't speak the language, figures out a way to go to school, figures out a way to put himself through school, gets a job, makes money, becomes a doctor, etc. Who's the idiot? The foundational Black American who had all the things available to him from the beginning, or the guy that figured out a way to come here and make it out the fucking mud?
Foundational Black Americans do that every day. You try to look at us through the eyes of the lowest denominator. You look at Black folks in the projects,
bottom 15%.
You look at the people in the projects as the totality of foundational Black American culture. We get up, go to school, work, do our thing every single day. We go out here, run businesses, get money, do what we're supposed to do. The Nigerian brothers and sisters, a Haitian, whoever, when they come over here, we make sure that they're good. We sit up here and help create opportunities for them. When they get businesses, we patronize their businesses. We support people. We make sure that people are good. We don't have that janky ass mentality where I'm against those people. You understand? So a lot of folks, when they come over here, just because you come over here and get a job, because you're not that successful, just because you come over here and get a job, that doesn't mean you're just doing so much better and you're so much smarter. No, you came over here and got a job thanks to the doors that foundational Black Americans kicked in. You understand that?
Yeah, fantastic. But the problem is this: you kicked the door in and then you stayed in the house and got comfortable. Meanwhile, these guys came into the house and decided, wow, there's a lot of opportunity here. It took the house over. That's what I'm
You're
trying
not
to say.
taking anything
I'm not shitting
over.
on
No, let's
foundationally.
stop. No, stop.
You like to use. Hold on.
What are you taking over?
Okay,
what are y'all taking over?
I let you speak. Tariq, I let you speak.
What are you taking over? Okay,
I let you speak.
What are you got to elaborate.
I let you speak.
What are you taking over?
Okay.
As a
He is he's a super clown.
If you let me finish, then I can go ahead and elaborate the way that you want. But what I'm simply saying is, you're saying that you guys created an infrastructure for us to come over and be successful. Fantastic, awesome. But what I'm saying is that If you create the infrastructure and then the people that come and immigrate that have less opportunity than you come over here and become successful, then you can't sit there and be like, well, you guys are ungrateful, blah, 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 blah. There are foundationally Black Americans that do fantastic. But my problem is this. Foundationally Black Americans tend to complain a lot about the system, right, that they've been able to enjoy for the better part of multiple decades and say, oh my God, I'm so oppressed.
But Myron, that's our
Meanwhile, people that
privilege,
don't have
Myron.
any,
You don't
hold on. Let me finish.
We complain about white
Meanwhile,
supremacy.
people come here from poor-ass countries that didn't have any opportunity, and they're like, wow, you're a bunch of fucking crybabies. And they become successful in the house that you built. That's what I'm saying.
No, they come over and drive Uber and thankful that they had to flee the homeland that the other
Thank
white
you.
people broke down and they didn't fight them. We can't have that.
Nothing wrong with Uber. I drove Uber
We
too, and
we
I'm
can't have
multi-millionaire.
that same thing.
I have a
It's a
Middle
lot
Eastern
of black
background too, bro. I
foundational
came
Black
here
Americans driving Uber.
2014 to this country with $2,000 in my pocket.
We
Okay,
can't sit here and ignore
there's no
white
country
supremacy.
like America
Who's
that
this
has
talking?
more opportunity.
Okay.
So it's me, Calvin.
Who is Calvin?
Some camel,
Let
some
him
camel
finish his
meat
point,
here.
Calvin, because I want to
go
make
ahead.
sure he can say what he's got to say. Go
Right.
ahead,
Yeah, we can't sit here and do what y'all did back in your homeland and ignore white supremacy. We'll turn this into a third world country. Somebody has to fight the white supremacists to get things for non-white people, and we're the only ones doing that. You understand these white supremacists ain't trying to give nothing to nobody. Somebody had to say, hey, you're going to have to give something up, and y'all come and enjoy that. And then when you come over here and start trying to align yourself with the same white supremacists, we're looking at you funny style. You understand that?
Okay, can
Go
I
ahead,
respond to
man.
that? So what I'm saying to that is you're saying, oh, yeah, well, we created this foundation or whatever. But remember, my argument is simply this. In 2024, there's nothing holding back, whether it's an African immigrant or a foundationally Black American. Nothing is holding us back from success. There's this white supremacy that you're talking about that's holding us back. It's not holding us
It
back,
is.
man.
It can hold you back. These white supremacists can say, I'm going to just close the border. I'm not letting none of y'all back over here. They can do that. They run the show. And I acknowledge that. I don't have a problem acknowledging that because that's the truth. It's a race war going on, and the white supremacists are on top of the race war. They can shut these borders down tomorrow. They can shut a lot of stuff down. They can shut down our businesses anytime they feel like it. Nobody's stopping them. We're in a global system of white supremacy. That's what it is. They can go bomb your homeland tomorrow, sir.
A global system we're in a system of Black. Okay.
Right.
Can I respond to that?
Go ahead.
So you're saying that we're in a system of. So tell me this: why is it that Black people are admitted at a higher rate to university than white people? Why is it that they have preferential hiring? Why is it that we have affirmative action? Hold on, let me finish. Let me finish. Why is it that we have historically Black colleges, but we don't necessarily have historically white colleges? Why do we have?
They're called PWIs, Myron.
Hold on. Let me finish. Why do we have?
Why
all
would you
these
need to
things in
call it a
place
historically white college? It's already baked in the sauce.
It's PWIs.
But that's my point that I'm trying to get at. We have things in place specifically for Black people, right, that are not available to other races.
That's
but
a
we
lie.
sit here and we complain and cry and say
that's a
it's
lie.
white
White people go to
supremacy.
HBCUs all the time. All groups go to HBCUs.
Yeah, but what's their
so Myron? Those people had to create that network, right, because of the history, and that's why I say y'all say a lot of intellectually dishonest shit, right?
Right. Yeah, that's not even intellectually honest, man.
Like even the part about well, why is it that something about civil rights, right? That in the interim during the civil rights, or why you're not succeeding, huh? You
all right, let's go to let's
no. I said in today's day and age,
but you're forgetting about the in between, right?
Someone from
but you're not mentioning,
bro. You have to let people
holding you
finish
back.
their statements. You have to let people finish their statements, bro. Like I know you may think you know what he's gonna say, just let them finish, please. Go ahead, Myron.
No, I was just saying. I was to clarify what you're saying. I was saying that in 2024, there's nothing holding you back from success, regardless of your skin color. But continue.
All right, you said that over and over again.
Yeah, so there's no lasting ramifications of all the policies enacted since the civil rights movement. There's no lasting ramifications, right?
What policies are you talking about?
We're talking about pumping drugs into the community, right? By way of Iran-Contra. We're talking about NAFTA. We're talking about crime bills, right? We're talking about welfare reform. 2 crime bills and welfare reform. And welfare didn't even benefit us, right? But they damn sure racialized it, right? And that was right after NAFTA, right? That trade deal took most production jobs away from that middle-class working community, right? Shipped them overseas, right? So you're not being intellectually honest. You're glossing over all that, right? And with those trade deals comes immigration policy, which a lot of you motherfuckers got here. Let's keep this shit a buck. So come on.
Okay. So explain to me then. So you're talking about immigrants, blah, 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 coming in here. So as a foundationally Black American, you have all the advantages. You're a U.S. citizen. You speak the English language. You got a free education.
Because they're still that system.
What's keeping you back from beating out? What's keeping you back from holding, just beating out some, spear chucking African?
Now, why does he have to be a spear chucker? And you're African.
Oh, that's what you've been saying the whole
I
time.
never said nobody was a spear chucker. I don't.
You made a bunch of jokes about Africans and everything else like that. These immigrants, right, that you've been ridiculing the entire night. Why can't you guys beat them out as American citizens that can speak English?
We
Why do you
have.
not just beat them
We
out?
have. We're doing better than them.
Okay. So
Because the system likes to underpay you. Yeah, we're doing better than you.
Myron, we're doing better than you, brother. I mean, come on, man.
That's
The
actually
system actually likes to underpay you, right? And they know you're docile.
Hold on.
Nigerians are some of the highest.
Pause that.
Nigerians earning black.
Pause that for a second. All right. Myron is being disingenuous in the fact that he's saying all immigrants that come over here become more successful than foundational Black Americans that have already been here. Some.
Is that all?
He's basically implying that all people that come in here, that immigrate here to the United States, that come from other shores, are more successful than the foundational Black Americans that have been here, which is incorrect.
Well, I've never heard him say all. Like
he's implying it by the way he's saying we come in and we've been able to take advantage of the system and be more successful than you, which is incorrect. Yeah, you come over and taking advantage of the system, and you've been able to come over here and work and send most of your money back to probably your people that live back in those countries and take advantage of the American currency. But at the end of the day, you just have a fucking job. And that's what Tariq is saying. All of you guys are not coming over here being successful. Now, Myron can say I'm an outlier, and yes, I've made millions of dollars, but every person that came over in his family did not come over here and become fucking successful. Nor than half the Sneako's family. Or whoever else is sitting on that panel that's mixed and acting like a fucking white racist. You get what I'm saying? Yes, you come over and you've been able to take care of or take advantage of our system as immigrants. You've been able to take advantage of our ancestry and our suffrage. And yes, you've been able to get a fair leg up. But at the end of the day, all of them are not coming over here beating us out. So the implications that he's saying is wrong.
Look, I didn't know they were driving cabs and Uber and Lyft. I didn't know they were successful, but I mean, I think
you can make some good money if you're a good hustler. You can make some good money, just like back in the day. Immigrants used to come over and be taxi drivers. But that's in certain areas. That's not all throughout the whole fucking country that you need a fucking taxi driver or an Uber driver. Uber is just becoming popular now, but back in the day it was taxi drivers, and that was only popular in bigger cities. A small town, you couldn't go and just be a taxi driver and think you're making it. You're not making shit.
Do you think Myron defines being successful as making like millions of dollars? You know what I mean?
Of course, that's in his eyes, yeah, monetarily.
Is that if that's the standard of being successful, then I mean, like, yeah, he's full of shit. So,
how many other immigrants do you know that are sitting there? Oh, I made it over here and I'm a fucking millionaire. It's not that often. He's an outlier. He's using his examples as if that's a standard of everybody coming over here that's an immigrant becoming successful. That's not true.
I can tell you, like, the state I'm in now is a lot of immigrants, you know what I mean? Particularly like Sudanese and Congolese. I don't know why the hell I say that. But a lot of those guys, like, they drive the cabs and, they do Uber, they do Lyft because they come and they really can't even really speak the language. So how they gonna work a job if they can't communicate to their employer, right, or their coworkers and stuff like that. So yeah, I think Myron is just seeing things through his own lens, and he's not seeing the totality of everything. Yeah.
But again, like I said, the broad stroke of the paintbrush, like even Passport Blueprint was saying, the way he gets off with the usage of his word is he's saying it in such an in general term that everybody that comes over is a shining example of how bad foundational Black Americans are doing in comparison to an immigrant that just shows up on our borders and gets a leg up and an advantage of all the different systems we have in place, and they're able to excel within the system. And that's wrong.
a lot of those people probably identify as white. You know, the example dude was saying earlier with the Egyptian dude that didn't want to identify as white. Yeah. So it could have been that situation where just because on paper they could be white,
but they're still not excelling to a point where they can be held up as an example of, oh, they're coming over here just kicking our ass. They're not coming over here and kicking our ass for shit.
I mean, what about all the migrants that come over here and are homeless and
exactly
all this trouble? And I mean, how you gonna skip over all these examples? These migrants in New York City that are homeless, living on the street, getting kicked out of shelters. I mean, come on.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah, and that's
so
the way he's talking. Like, yeah, I agree with you. The way he's talking, he's making it sound like everybody that comes over here as an immigrant is just such a success story, and that's not. It's very rare. And a lot of them don't come over for success stories. They come over here just for the dollar, and they're sending a lot of that money back home to support those families, Mexicans included.
And if Trump get in office, he's gonna send them right back.
Yeah, I mean, to me at this point, I think there should be, and that's me as a military person believing in freedoms and all that. There should be a limit on how many people we allow in our country per year. Period. It needs to be a lottery system. We're done. We're full. We don't need any more pushing onto our system and our economics. There's other things we can do with our money besides supporting a whole bunch of immigrants coming into our country. Close our borders, eliminate just free reign to come into these countries, in our country specifically, and give them an amount of people that we can allow in, and leave it like that.
No, none of you guys are not really falling out, Myron. Let's stop this fantasy.
The Nigerians are by far the most successful blacks.
Myron, none of you are balling out.
Most successful scammers.
Nigerian community in America.
Fake diplomas and fake status, right? We
real
know
talk. You know the fake diplomas. And
all right, let's go. Wait, real quick. Let's go to Chief Trumpster.
Yeah, I go.
That's a
fact. You better change that subject. Y'all not balling out like that. You're not doing so much better than us over here.
Nigerians are the most successful blacks, bro.
How so?
Well, I guess he was getting to it because I just said the same thing.
The highest annual income, somewhere around 80.
Okay, they have. You know why? No. Let's break that down. That household income is
What's
higher.
the excuse now for why they're laughing?
The higher the income, the household income is higher for a lot of immigrants because most foundational Black Americans have two income households, either one or two. A lot of you immigrants have 30 niggas living in the house, all driving Uber, and that makes the income for the household go up higher. That's the only reason. It's not that you work harder, it's more of you living in a damn house. So tell all of it and put it in the right context. It's not that you have these prosperous communities.
Love the stereotyping.
Y'all don't have them.
Hold on, wait a minute. This dude he loves stereotyping. He living doing that this whole time. From the start of this to now, he's been doing it. He's talking about how you stereotype. That's just funny to me.
That's 100% true. There is no prosperous communities that you guys have like that. Y'all just live in the house.
Tariq, have you thought
y'all
about
have
this?
a whole bunch of people living in the house.
I'll tell you why Nigerians earn more. I'll tell you why. Because they have two-parent households.
No, they have 30. They have 30 members in the household.
Hold on.
It's a whole bunch of people living in the household.
Five-parent household. They have 5-parent household.
You can say whatever you want.
One father, 4 wives.
The point is this.
Come on.
The point is this. They value the nuclear family. They value the nuclear family. That is the biggest thing here that the FBAs don't see.
In Nigeria has the highest fraternity fraud in the world.
Y'all be beating y'all bitches up, man. Cut it out.
Don't you dare go there. Nigeria has the highest fraternity fraud rate in the world, sir. They don't value.
And that's why they have. And that's yes. Yes, but they're also wildly successful as well.
Okay, don't sit there talking about a nuclear family and there's orphans.
That's why, and they have nuclear families. That's why they come here and they become successful because they have two parents. They send their kids to school. They make them work really hard. While the dad drives Ubers, you make jokes about it, and he's sending his kid to med school. Yes, that's why they're successful.
Sir, no, it's all the people living in the household. That's why you cannot point.
How are you just gonna say no?
Yeah, because he's just. I'm telling you, he's just saying stuff. That's why you can't point.
But you're just saying
you can't point to a big prosperous community that's Nigerian, that's Sudanese, and none of this stuff. You can't point to it in America. You can't point to it.
I like how you deflected the argument when I told you the most successful blacks are Nigerians.
All right, and I've debunked that.
Are you using per capita numbers, Myron?
Well,
I'm talking generally.
Yeah, they're making $67K per year.
Nobody's worth, bro. I'm not
American dumbass.
right? They choose y'all because y'all will take the lower wage. You won't give it any pushback.
See, notice how I give a fact and then they go ahead and just make
I
stereotypes.
didn't even. You didn't give a fact. I countered that lie you told and told the truth.
Yeah, you countered it by them doing fraternity. fraud.
Yeah, you talk. Yeah, because you can't talk about the nuclear family and there's fraternity fraud.
First of all, how about this? I mean, kudos to the Nigerians for having
and I'm not knocking Nigerians. I'm not knocking Nigerians
and make more money. Like, I mean, well, at the end of the day, he's trying to make a point, and if Nigerians choose to use that strategy, good for them. I mean, congratulations. That's great. That's smart, actually. We should congratulate them. How about L Blacks for not doing that? How about you guys? Take a lesson from that?
I'm not taking a lesson from people or from any country where they're defecating in the streets and they can't get it together. All right.
Bro, you guys were better off here.
That's not a stereotype. I'm not. When you come from failed homelands, I'm not taking no cue from that.
And I mean, most of y'all parents, and most of y'all in here parents come from failed homelands where they do barbaric shit. But come on, cut it out.
Yeah, we're not taking no cues from you.
They come
the hell out of here.
So let me get
take a lesson from you.
They come from failed homelands. They come from failed homelands, and then they still laugh.
No, they don't. They're not laughing
at shit, bro. Your mom is at home.
They're taking me to the airport.
Yeah, they did. They were together.
I'm not laughing anything. No, you're not.
Here we go.
Yeah, they did.
No, they're not.
Because
that's a fantasy.
Yeah, they came up with a method for them to make.
That's a fantasy.
They came up with a method. They outsmarted you guys.
No, they didn't.
They did. They said, "Hey, how about this? Let's come together. Let's create more income within the household. Let's live together and let's do this and let's become, so
let's all drive Uber. We're showing those FBAs. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. You're showing us with your Uber.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway.
So Tariq, again, once again, if an immigrant that doesn't even speak the language can come here and be successful, there's nothing holding anyone back.
You're not that successful, sir. You're not.
I'm not talking about me.
I'm talking about immigrants in general. They're not really that successful out there. You come up, you flee 3,000 miles to get a job. Okay, you flee your homeland to get a job. All right, you're not really balling out like that. You're not.
They
you're not
flee to America because there's opportunities in America
that we created. Yes, I know that. We know there are.
Okay, wait, so you created it or white supremacists created it? Which one?
Tariq.
We had to fight these white supremacists to allow some of these opportunities
by
for
your
the
logic that
non-whites.
we could go ahead and say you didn't create anything. It was George Washington in the squad. Like you're using the logic of we created this. But
oh my God.
See, 45% of single mother households are black. The average black American woman weighs 186 pounds. If you're going to bring up these metrics, like you're failing in every single one of these metrics, and then you say Haiti's failing, you say Nigeria's pooping in the streets. Look what's happened. Look at the statistics in America.
Foundation of Black Americans. We ain't living like third world people. We're not. And you white supremacists are in the trailer parks living worse than that, but you still got white supremacists. See, the thing about you white supremacists, your whiteness is monetized. Your white supremacists, the only thing that keeps you awake at night is the fact that you can fall back on white supremacy.
That's an emotional argument. Argument.
Tariq, no one is a white supremacist here. I don't know why. We didn't even talk about race until you came in here.
Yeah, you don't have anything going on except white supremacy. Yeah, you're dirt poor.
Tariq, we get your whiteness is monetized and all that.
You literally only talk about race, Tariq. Like we weren't even talking about that.
That's all you guys do, and we're calling you out on that.
Really?
That's bro. There's no.
There's literally no argument to back that we're white supremacists. You have a victim mindset.
It is.
And you're really
you being in denial. Y'all love to practice white supremacy, then deny it, which is
so Tariq, is Shapiro.
Tariq, you can't honestly say that all they do is talk about race. All you do is talk about race.
Tariq, is Ben Shapiro white supremacist?
He's a suspect.
Oh y'all, listen, that'd be like me saying I don't talk about race. No,
he really. Someone quote that. Tariq Nasheed thinks Ben Shapiro's a white supremacist.
Right.
Well, that's where y'all should have stopped that though. Y'all never drilled down on the questions you should. Right there, when you said he backs white supremacist talking points, why did none of y'all say what talking points are those? Y'all literally defeat your own argument and y'all make it easy for him.
Exactly.
Okay, so you call it out, Tommy. Then get out of the victim mindset that Tariq is holding.
Oh God!
No,
you got to get out of the victimizer mindset. You got to get out of the victimizer mindset.
Y'all just have a really.
I just want to keep going until we get to talking about Hitler. After that, then
We have an honest conversation. That's the only thing I hate. People, I get that when we get on our separate sides, we got to speak the way we speak. But I got to tell you, Tariq in this conversation,
killing them.
Seen him speak in a way I hadn't seen him speak. I think he might have been watching me a few videos, but he has set up here and he's been playing. He's been rope-a-doping y'all. And y'all look bad.
No, man, that's not true, man.
Y'all do look bad from the outside looking in. You do.
He didn't prove anything.
Tommy, he hasn't made one substantial point about anything.
But neither have y'all. Y'all been calling them names. I've heard so many people that dumb, stupid motherfuckers.
He called us
yelling
dog
over
eaters. He said Nigerians poop in the streets. Like, what are you talking? What is he? What point has he made?
No solid points, bro.
Besides
I'm saying y'all have to hold him to what his
He's been
points
making
are.
ad hominem attacks on me the whole time.
Besides thinking that Zionists are white supremacists, he hasn't made any point at all.
No, he did. Hold on. I can, and again, y'all know he'll tell you, no love lost. He made a point when he was trying to tell y'all, if you say this about Jews, they subvert everybody. So I'm just gonna look at them as white people because the white people are doing the same thing. Y'all did not make the current. Y'all did not make a good reverse argument. So he won.
Right.
You can't do that.
Yeah, no, he said Ben Shapiro
because they don't have.
I said, but y'all never asked.
Ben Shapiro said he
Tariq,
wanted
did they
to
ask you? Tariq, did they ask you what your points were when you said he backs up white supremacist talking point? Did they ever ask you to elaborate?
No, I just told who he was associated with.
Sure,
right.
exactly.
They don't really. They don't have a counter. They don't have a counter. But
y'all don't ask. You can't not ask the right question and then turn around and say they did something wrong.
Not once did he ever admit that there's Jewish subversion tactics.
Yes, he did.
Tariq, are there Jewish subversion
I talked
tactics?
about it in the 1960s how there were.
He literally did.
See? I did. I did.
Not
talk
in the
about
1960s. We're not living in the.
They don't listen. They don't listen.
Even now, I can talk. Even now, you have white.
No, keep going. I'm just saying they don't listen.
Jewish music
Yeah.
execs.
No.
I am not supposed to be over here. I'm waiting on this man to call me one crispy. He ain't done it.
No, wait, but Tommy,
I'm on these guys.
I ask him again: is there Jewish subversion tactics? He says white Jewish. They're different races. We established that 5
because
times.
there's black Jews. Because I just can't say Jews. There's black Jews.
Yeah, he's explaining to you. He believes there's 2 different kinds of Jews.
Right.
It's not like he didn't say it.
He doesn't understand that
black
Zionist Jews.
There are black Jews who don't have any. They don't have no power.
And if he's an FBA and he also believes that blacks were in the United States before whites set foot, you don't think he also believes that there were blacks that were Jews too?
Yeah, that's retarded. See, no.
But you think you're not hearing me though. You think it is. There's several black Jews who believe that they're Jews.
Yeah,
and I'm
but no
friends with a
actual
few.
Jews believe in that. Whatever blacks can believe what they want to believe. It doesn't make it true.
There's woman who thinks.
But there's many of us. Wait a minute. Nick Cannon. Hold on a second, Sneako. Nick Cannon. What got him kicked off his show? What did he say that got him kicked off?
He said something about the Jews, huh?
No, not something. Don't do that. See there? You're being disingenuous. Let me tell you exactly what he said. He said blacks were the original Jews. That's
silence.
Slave owners.
Silence.
No, what I'm saying is y'all won't admit that there are people. One of the greatest things that people believe that Jews did, and they can back it with Bible verses, that Jews subverted blacks and their heritage. That's literally what made Tariq and I fall out, because I didn't know what he was doing or whatever. But that was what I brought out. I said, I don't know why.
That did make us fall out. That's absolutely not what.
Well, that's what made you fall out. I never fell out with you.
No, it did.
Okay, y'all don't do a kumbaya moment. Let Tommy keep on his roll right now. Let Tommy talk.
Before that, we was cool. Before that, you was like, get after these black bitches. You literally said those words to me.
I didn't.
Yes,
say
you
that.
did. It's on tape during our interview.
Play. Can you play a tape of me?
I sure can. I will put the
Nigga,
video.
stop that right now, man. Y'all distracting.
Say that. I don't.
Not you. I'm talking to them. I'm talking out loud to them. Like they trying to have a kumbaya moment right now and work out their indifferences when he was on a roll, just taking these guys down on all the points they didn't make.
I didn't know nothing about you, or nothing to some black Jews or what. I don't know nothing.
No, I'm saying what I said on the video. What I said was, they asked me. They said, why is it that Hidden Colors doesn't address that Jews took black heritage and subverted them, and now they're trying to claim that they're the Semitic people. and saying that blacks are anti-Semitic talking about it. I said, and it was right after me and the girl I was dating had just went to Dallas and seen the movie. And I said,
what?
I said, I'll talk to, I said, I don't know why he didn't bring that up in 1 or 2. I said, I don't know why he would bring up all his hidden colors, but not bring up that Jews will not acknowledge black Jews. For some odd reason, they will not.
I didn't have a problem with you because of that. I don't know nothing about
It's
that.
people in the comment section saying he sure did on that interview. It starts off being nothing but a gangster
most people have
party.
no idea what you're talking about. Let me explain Judaism to you. If you read the Talmud, they do not accept black people.
No shit. That's his point.
Kings and queens. That doesn't make it true. Black Jews are not accepted in the Jewish community.
But
why do you think that is, you dummy?
Hold on. But wasn't the Nazis, their whole argument was that the reason they had a problem with Jewish people because they had Negro blood. That was the Jewish
No, it
argument.
actually isn't. The Nazis had no problem with Negroes.
No. The Nazis, according to their documents, they were saying that the problem with the Jews is that they were a Negro race.
No.
What?
This is what.
No, what are you talking about?
Yes.
It literally wasn't, Tariq. It wasn't.
You think you're the main character in every situation. Nazis did not care about black people. They cared about Jewish people.
Go read the book Hybrid Hate. Go read the book Hybrid Hate. This is what they were. This is a white man wrote this book called Hybrid Hate. They talked about how the Nazis, the whole issue of anti-Semitism was that they didn't like the Jewish people because the Jewish people had black blood.
No, they did not like. No, that is a lie. Even Hitler said the reason he didn't like the Jews was what they did was they came into their community, and what he said was he had the women prostituting themselves out, which was true in Berlin. Said they brought all kind of gay culture to their Christian background, and that they were a part of when they lost World War I, and that's why almost he said that's why when he started with the Autobahn and stuff, the idea of what they would do was they would charge people with loans, and everybody had a problem with that because Hitler believed, like Jesus believed, you loan money, you don't get any interest. And they were literally getting rich off of interest. He never said they had black blood. It was an economic argument.
Yeah. In Mein Kampf, he said they were a Negroid race. He says that in Mein Kampf.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
No, Tariq, black people are not the main character of everything.
That's what I don't like.
He wanted to be the center.
That has never been their argument.
That's been the argument. The argument wasn't religion. He said
no, it was economic. Everybody kicks the Jews out over economy. The reason JFK is dead is because he tried to talk about the economy that the Jews had built under the Fed.
Not everything's about black people, Tariq. It
ain't about race.
Then why did he say that they were Negro?
Because he wanted to be the center mention at everything. It's not about black people.
He didn't say that.
It's the smallest issue of all time.
It's in Mein Kampf. He said it in Mein Kampf. Y'all look it up. I'm not saying this. This is what Hitler said in Mein Kampf.
Show the quote right now.
Okay.
You hear this Indian Arab dude saying, "Show the quote."
Audio thing.
What the fuck?
You can exit the app. You can leave the app and still be on the space. I don't know how you're a millionaire. You don't know how to use the phone. Like, how did you be? You're hardworking.
Okay, you're trying to be snarky.
Well, if you think about it, if you're telling him he could do it, you could do it.
You brought it up. You so cite this.
I know, but we all could do it to prove him wrong.
Exactly. So do it. Somebody do it.
We're not having a fair conversation.
Bruh, you can't prove a negative.
You see, me and him just went at it, but I'm still trying to be fair. Why, if y'all really wanted these conversations to go somewhere, if they were just public displays and bullshit, then we're going perfect.
Well, okay, he's the one who brought it up, so cite your source, because this is the first time anybody's ever heard that.
Well, he cited it. He said it was in a book, but he didn't know. It's like when people tell me it's in the Bible. I go look it up.
Tommy,
right.
No, the problem is we're going around in circles for a couple of points. Sneako brought a point up about the difference between white supremacy and then Jewish supremacy. Tariq has the opinion
There's no such thing as Jewish supremacy.
He says respect white supremacist when there's a thing called Jewish supremacy. That's the difference. And when he says a white,
but why didn't you ask him to elaborate?
No, I've been trying to for 30 minutes.
No, you haven't. None of y'all pinned him down on it.
Tommy, let him speak for 5 seconds.
Tommy, bro, I've been like 2 days no sleep here. So I'll be pretty brief. The whole thing is that this whole white, Jewish, whatever, there's a religion and there's a race. There's two parts of it. So when you guys talk about is he white, is he black, there's different parts of it. So I'm going to be ethnically Jewish. They have a religion that's Jewish. There's different parts of that. The other part I think I brought up before about the hard working and all of that. What he's talking about was in terms of the different industries and what the percentage is demographically of each sector. That's what he was asking Tariq initially. Then he kind of ran around that point, and also the point about the crime statistics, which he ran around as well. You can say somebody's hardworking, and they're individuals that are hardworking for sure. But we're talking about like what sectors and what demographic percentages are in each sector. That is the difference he's referring to there. I think when he calls Shapiro a suspected white supremacist, when he is Jewish, the Jewish supremacist, to be able to say that instead of leading the white thing. The whole white Jewish thing is different from saying you're Jewish supremacist. That's a conundrum that be going in circles around for like in 30 or so minutes here. So that's I gotta go. It's been like,
let me tell you, Ben Shapiro is not a fucking suspected white supremacist because he allowed his employee by the name of Candace Owens to say what she wanted about whites, but when she said what she wanted about Jews, she got fired.
Right.
Say what you want. Again, he might be a suspected white supremacist. If you can say that, and I agree, whatever you say, Tariq, but then you have to ask, why was she able to talk about blacks, whites, but then as soon as she said something about Jews, she lost her job?
Well, she didn't get to say too much about whites, but yeah, when she said something about
you said too much, she said nothing. She got to say nothing about Jews though. Literally talking about Jews got her fired. Then the man called her anti-Semitic quickly.
Hey,
quickly,
brother Tommy,
which is like calling the dogs out.
Looked it up, and the Mein Kampf, Hitler did mention the Negroid blood, which is wild.
No, thank you.
Mentioning Negroid.
Pause that for a second.
Read the quote.
Hitler's whole thing was all about a superior race, blonde hair, blue eyes. Why would you want a superior race if you had no problem with African Americans? Why, when Jesse Owens went to the Olympics, did they not want to recognize him as the Olympic fastest man on the planet? He beat a white man. Yeah. Y'all are missing parts of history when we're going over some of these things. And I love the way they just revise history and say, oh, no, he didn't have no problem with blacks. Did y'all forget the whole Olympics that was in Berlin at the time this war was about to start, and how African Americans was whooping their asses in every event, which was insulting to Hitler and his ideals. Yep. This is what I talk about with history and people that like to conveniently leave things out so that they can win their arguments. They were literally all on the panel trying to say Hitler had no problems with blacks. Are you fucking kidding me? He absolutely did. If you didn't have blonde hair and blue eyes, you were not going to be considered part of the final race. He was going to be the only one with black hair and brown eyes. He was trying to inbreed people to mix blonde hair, blue eye woman to have a blonde hair, blue eyed child. But let them tell it. Oh no, he wasn't none of those things. You see how they try to revise history to soften who Hitler was?
Yeah. The only thing I know about Hitler is what I've been taught, so I can't really even say much about that, honestly. Because what I've been taught it's not necessarily what's true. You know what I mean? So,
right. And it has to come from whoever taught you and what their ulterior motive was, or the book that was written. Understand, every book that's ever written in history is written with a narrative, and it's up to the writer to prove his narrative in the affirmative or the negative, whichever way he wants to write it. But a writer's point to writing a book is to push a narrative, albeit positive or negative. It's up to you to read the book and cipher whether that's a positive spin on what he's thinking or talking about, or a negative spin.
It's like you said earlier, right? Like the people the winners are the people that decide what history is going to look like. You know, they can rewrite history, I should say. So, you know, since Hitler wasn't, I should say, the winner, then they can pretty much paint him in what type of image they want him to be in. So,
right.
We don't necessarily know what the truth is because, you know, since they can rewrite history or, like you said, revise it, then, you know, they could paint him as the good guy, the bad guy, or whatever guy they want him to be.
Right.
So.
But for some reason, all the guys on this panel must have read the same book that thought that Hitler was all for black people and he never had a problem with Negroid blood. What the fuck? What books are y'all reading?
Hitler was on it. He wasn't for black people. He was for his own ideals and ideologies or whatever.
The master race. He wanted to take over the world. Why do you think he started a whole world war? He wanted to impose his people on everybody.
Myron, like Hitler, right? He's white people, but he ain't white. Like Hitler, he's not Anglo-Saxon, right? But he's for Anglo-Saxons, pretty much.
No, he was white. I mean, he was white, but he was also, well, somebody down the bloodline. He was part Jewish.
Correct.
You know? So he definitely was.
So he
white.
had some self-hatred going on.
That's Myron.
And his
That's Myron, right? That's Myron.
Yeah.
Myron. But yeah, I'm gonna go.
Hitler was using the Negro as a scare tactic to strike fear into the working party to increase productivity under the threat of being replaced by the Negro. Yep.
Somebody said shit.
I agree with that, Guns. Yeah, he ain't gonna call him. They can call him Shitler. That's Uncle Guns. That's my mod. He's a Navy guy.
He said Shitler. That was funny. I ain't heard that one before.
Yeah, I'm sure that motivated him too, Uncle Guns, after the Olympics to see how fast and more superior athletically black people were as opposed to them. You know, but to sit here, that whole panel with 15 plus people sitting on it, all denying that Hitler had a problem with black people is fucking crazy to me. And then trying to gaslight Tariq into believing it.
I mean, the problem is most of the people was not living back then, man. People keep talking about history, but they weren't living during the history.
And that's why I say you got to be real careful about historical revisionists. And I had to say it, even Dr. Umar uses history as a way of revising things to spin towards his narrative.
I mean, all you gotta do is look at how.
Yeah, nobody's going to be 100% genuine in their arguments, man. I've just come to that realization. Like nobody's going to be 100% genuine in their argument. They're going to always say they're not going to say things that's not true, but they're going to always say things that are true. You know what I mean? Because they don't want to seem like a liar or a hypocrite, so they're going to always state what they perceive is true. Yep.
Right.
You know, like some days, I know, but you know,
and here's the other thing. Here's the other thing I've learned in sales. You say it enough without being challenged, all of a sudden it becomes fact. That's why I usually tell people to be silent in the spite of seeing and hearing things that are wrong. You allow the lie to propagate itself.
Yeah, man. It's fucking crazy. That's why he's that's why he sent Rommel into Africa to eliminate competition or trade in the Med and the
Suez.
Yeah. Suez, okay. All right. And now that we got them out the way, we can go and finish this out.
Yeah, read the quote. Let him read the quote. He said he looked it up. Let him read the quote to us.
Just because he said the word Negroid doesn't prove that whatever Tariq was talking about.
See, there's always that one hater.
And before the
Jordan Horn.
How he gonna say he just looked it up, and then when we asked to read it, he's silent?
Yo, Tommy, I just put in the Jumbotron tweet of Ben Shapiro.
No, do us a favor, just read it. Go ahead. We're all ears.
The browning of America. How can he be a white supremacist and not care about the browning of America?
Well, I have my AI pull it up real quick, but it's in volume 1, chapter 11, titled "Nation and Race." It says in this chapter, Hitler elaborates on his racist ideology, making various unfounded claims about racial purity, including the assertion that Jews possess Negroid characteristics.
Keep on going.
Negroid characteristics doesn't mean they're black.
That's what I'm saying.
Shut the fuck up. Who the hell said that shit? That's an ignorant ass statement.
That was Sneako. That was Sneako that said
what he
that.
said about now. See what now? Look up what he said about the reason.
There's 36 people in that fucking room. Only 34 of them understand what the fuck is actually going on. And unfortunately, and both of them are black.
It's not their. It's not,
that's funny.
Literally, that's his thing. And the reason why y'all asking the wrong person, because all I've set up and people have seen it. I've watched a shit ton of Hitler documentaries. Took too many to where it looked like I might be a Nazi. That's how many I've watched.
Yeah, he said Negroid characteristics.
Right.
Well,
that's literally the Jews had Negroid blood.
That's not what he said.
This is what they said in my.
He said Negroid characteristics.
Did not say blood. We just spread it.
Negroid characteristics, by definition, means you have the ancestry, the blood work of a black person. You can't get characteristics any other way. The fuck is wrong with these guys' interpretation of fucking words?
Man, they're gonna interpret it how they want to interpret it.
Yeah.
It's just like reading different versions of the Bible. You got the Ethiopian version,
King
of the
James
Bible,
version, New Living Bible, all the fucking things. Yeah. And by the way, the truest Bible is the Ethiopian Bible, which the Catholics took and ripped up and made it into what they now call the King James Bible.
It's another version of the
Ethiopian
Bible.
I have the Ethiopian Bible, which has all the books of the Bible that were in it originally before the Catholic religion.
The Catholic Bible is different from the Protestant Bible. The Protestant Bible, that's the King James version. But yeah, the Catholics is different. The original, you got to remember the Bible, the truest Bible would be
the Ethiopian Bible, the one that I have.
I wouldn't say the Ethiopian. I would say, because you got to remember what was the original text.
You do know about the Catholic religion going in and having the canon tales and deciding what books of the Bible they were going to put in it. Do you know what the original Bible was that they were trying to decide which books they were going to put into their version? It was the Ethiopian Bible. It has the Book of Enoch. It has all the other books in it that were taken out because it didn't fit the narrative of what the Catholic religion wanted to use as a form of control over multiple societies. Hence why they made the Bible in the first place.
Right, but you
There's another Bible that's pretty accurate too. The Geneva Bible.
The only other Bible I would know, and I wouldn't call it a Bible, I would call it the Quran. That's a more historical, factual telling of history itself.
Well, no, that's not the.
I mean, compare the Bible to the Quran. A lot of the stories are similar.
Right, they're very
That's
similar.
why for the admission of Jesus being Nazareth and not just a prophet.
Right.
You do have to give the Muslims credit for accurately accounting for history. So when you put two documents together that are that old and they have similar stories in them between the two, those are the fact checks.
Well, what I was going to say was the Bible originally was written in 4 languages. One was Hebrew, I believe Hebrew, Greek, Phoenician, and Aramaic. Those were the original.
Which was the original language of Jesus, was Aramaic.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that right there, those, in my opinion, would be the most true forms of the Bible, because those were the original languages. You know, because things get.
And the whole thing is, Aramaic was a language that was spoken by many people.
Yeah.
One of which were Ethiopians.
Phoenician was spoken by many people.
And that's what I'm saying. Of those, Ethiopians had spoken those languages.
Yeah, yes, they did.
But either way, let's go ahead and finish this up because we 4 hours into this, and I got another one tonight at 8. Good God.
Almost 5 actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a nap. I'm old.
that you think it is. The real problem is that American
You don't
politicians
look that
have
old,
undying
man.
allegiance to Israel. Israel is a Jewish ethno-state. Is an ethno-state that controls everything. And then Tariq does not understand that 98% of the funded policy.
Well, no, Sneako, I think he understands it. I just think that's a conversation we ain't having.
I don't think he does. 98% of AIPAC's funded politicians win their elections. Why do you think Biden's cabinet has all Zionists in there? Trump's cabinet that got subverted all by Zionists. The real issue, and this is why Trump.
Then how come there are no Jewish presidents?
Because they don't need to be. They control the strings behind the scenes.
Right.
Does he forget? Can he pause it real quick? Does he forget that his son, former President Trump's son-in-law is Jewish?
Yeah, they forget all that stuff.
No,
of course, because it doesn't fit their narrative on their argument. Why would they bring up those finite points?
Lyndon Johnson's not.
Look up any of the white presidents that you think are controlling white supremacy. Why are they kissing the wall in Israel?
Why are they?
Because they have to show allegiance.
Is a Jew, bro.
Because
I can't believe you can't
Tariq,
even.
every single president has to kiss the wall in Israel. Every politician that's successful in America has to put on the yarmulke and kiss the wall. There's a reason they go there and they don't go to Mecca and put on look like Malcolm X, because they have to show allegiance to Israel. Then this is an ethno-state. It's not just a religion, it's an ethnicity. It's not white supremacy.
Then how come the black Jews are not running?
Because nobody cares about them.
All right, so we're talking
about he just admitted that there's black Jews. Don't skip over that point.
You keep trying to make it a religious thing. You keep trying to make it a religious thing.
But you don't understand.
No.
Judaism. Okay, let me explain this to you because you don't get it. Judaism is not just a religion. Judaism is a religion and an ethnicity. It's a religion and an ethnicity at the same time.
Race.
It's a race.
Right. It's religion and a race.
That's why they're the chosen people.
What's that race?
Jewish people.
They're Middle Eastern. They come
they're
from
black people who are Jewish.
No. We're talking about Ashkenazi
they're
Jews.
not running anything.
We're talking
Ashkenazis are not the original Jews. They're one tribe of them.
We're talking about Ashkenazis.
All right, the white.
But yes, there are some Ethiopian Jews.
All right. We're still talking
See,
about
there's another admission. There's two.
Ashkenazi Jews are not whites. What are you talking about?
You're trying to pull some silly putty in different directions to change it up. It's still silly putty. We're still talking
Tommy, this is what I'm saying. He does not get the difference between white and Jewish supremacy.
I get the
he does not understand it.
Because if a white supremacist Jewish person.
Now, if you remember 3.5 hours ago, they didn't want to admit there was any other colored Jews besides the white ones. Now all of a sudden, there's a whole bunch of different ones.
Change their name and blend in. The problem is white supremacy.
They do that to brainwash people like you, so that you believe there's white supremacy.
Right.
It's a trick.
Right. Because
so everybody on that panel don't believe in white supremacy, but him. But yet and still, they got all white supremacists arguing points. What the fuck is the double talk and the gaslighting going on here?
People on Haaretz called Jews are not white. They admitted themselves.
Everybody, hold up. Like everybody is all over the place, bro. The only people that's halfway making sense in my opinion is Tommy and Tariq. You know, because
Tommy and Tariq, the two black people on the panel, are the only ones making sense. And that's why it's like it's a shame. There's 36 people on this panel, only 2 of them out of 36 is making any kind of goddamn sense. And they both black.
Nobody's white when it comes to white supremacy. When you call out white supremacy, everybody's I'm Native American, I'm really Hispanic. George Zimmerman is Hispanic. He's not.
And
really
this is the point, Tommy. He's never going to understand.
That's what I'm with you. Speak on that, Tariq. They want to know then if you're acknowledging that, then why won't you acknowledge that they're playing the game too?
He's not acknowledging any of that. He's being sarcastic.
They come to the shit. When they come to the shit, they pretend they ain't nothing to do with it.
You have white supremacist Jewish people. You do.
No,
and you have white people. You have white people who are not racist, and you have white supremacists.
Let me say this for you. I'll let me do better.
He doesn't get it. That's like saying you're an Asian white supremacist. That doesn't make any sense. It's one or the other.
No. It's not. But you got Sneako, that's a Filipino fucking Haitian. But it doesn't make any sense that Sneako is arguing white supremacist points. So you can't have an Asian arguing white supremacy. You hear the contradiction in this shit.
Absolutely.
Man, I'm almost drained listening to this shit. I'm gonna keep.
Have Jewish people who are classified as white. So
They
yes,
classify as white. Okay, but Tariq, let me explain. They classify themselves as white to go undercover to trick people like you to think the problem is white
They're not
supremacy.
tricking anybody.
They do that to make
Bro,
you
you didn't even know
believe.
Lyndon B. Johnson was a Jew. You didn't
They're
even
not
know that.
tricking me. They're
So he did
practicing
trick
it.
you. You didn't even know that we had a Jewish
No,
president.
they're not tricking me. They're practicing white supremacy with you.
Dude, you didn't even know Lyndon B. Johnson was a
That's
Jew.
just
You didn't even know he was a Jew.
Yeah. Who? I didn't know who was
Lyndon
a
B.
Jew.
Johnson. You didn't even know that he was a Jew.
Listen to the man's last name. Stop. Pause it.
My point, though. Like,
Did
Pause
you
it.
say Lyndon Johnson?
He's trying to argue the point that Lyndon B. Johnson back in the day was a Jew and he was the first Jewish president. But Lyndon B. Johnson, even if he was a Jew, hid his Jewish history because back then Jews were persecuted here in America. If you were a Jew, you were as good as a black person. They would whoop your ass on sight
I don't think
as a Jew. So even if he was a Jew, it was hidden very well that it never came out in any kind of political fucking argument. And you think the white supremacists back in the 60s would tolerate a Jewish man sitting as the president of them? Hell the fuck no, they wouldn't. Again, historical revisionists sending out just whatever false narrative they want in order to argue a point to try to fucking win. In the 60s, if you were a Jew, you were just as bad as being a nigger. Let me say it. There's no way you were going to survive in a political arena like that.
He started the Great Society
That's a
programs.
distinction without a difference. He was a
And
racist.
Tommy, what I'm trying to
He
explain-
used the word nigger all the
Okay.
time. You're saying that like that makes a difference. Okay, what makes it
Because you said
anti-black
that there were no
racism?
Jewish presidents. Because you
It
said
should
there were
make
no
a
Jewish
difference to know
presidents.
who's attacking.
That's
The
why I said
the
that.
fundamentals of his ideology, let me explain this for 5 seconds. The fundamentals of your ideology are not actually attacking white supremacy. It's about black people are the victims. And as long as I
Yes.
can name an oppressor,
Okay,
I will
we're victims of
hold
white
that. But it doesn't,
supremacy.
you don't know who the oppressors.
We're victims
You
of
don't
white
even know who the oppressors are. As long as you know black
do.
people are
White
the victims,
supremacists.
you think you're right. You don't even know who
White
controls you.
supremacists are the oppressors.
If you want to
Whites,
know,
there are a lot
if
of-
you want to know
there are a
who
lot
rules
more
over
white-
you, Tariq, learn. Hold on. If you want to know who rules over you, learn who you are not allowed to criticize. And you can go on any of these spaces and talk about white supremacy. But if you talk
because if a
about
black
Jewish
person criticizes a Jewish person, other white people get on code with them
No,
to
no,
oppress the
no.
black
They
people to use that to
There are
oppress them.
more-
Yes.
there
So
are
y'all
more-
get on code with the Jewish people.
There are
Right.
more
So you get on
white.
code with
There are more white poor people in America than
Okay,
blacks.
no. Hold on, no. For example, hold on. For example, when Nick Cannon got in hot water with the Jewish community, where were all the Anglo-white people defending Nick Cannon? Nobody. Where were you?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about if it's Jewish supremacy and they're the real oppressors, when they were going after Nick Cannon, where were the Anglo
Yeah, y'all could've
white
saved him.
people defending Nick Cannon?
They will get shut down if they
Where,
speak
no,
up.
where were the Anglo white people defending Kyrie Irving? When
They will get
white
canceled
people-
if they
You're
speak
not
against
allowed to
Jewish people. Are you
criticize
stupid?
Jewish power, Tariq. You're
Okay,
calling it out
okay,
right now.
okay. Then why were y'all not defending
I
Kyrie
did
Irving?
defend Kyrie Irving. I was on Yay 24 working on a political campaign.
Now, who is this talking?
Yes.
Sneako? I'm talking about the white people. You're not white. Where were the white people?
Okay, so I'm a white
Kyrie Irving?
supremacist. Like, what do you like?
I
You call me a white
I never said
supremacist
you were a white
and
supremacist.
now I'm not white.
Sneako. Put the dirt.
Sneako don't know what he is.
Right. I've never said you're a white supremacist. I said
Are
you're
you,
one of
are,
them.
are,
I'm
are you,
talking about the
are
white
you
supremacists.
like, did crack, was your mom
Stop,
smoking crack?
stop.
What do you, you've been calling me a white supremacist the entire space.
No, I haven't. You're a
I tell you
wannabe.
that I
You're
tell you
not
that I
right.
defend Kyrie Irving.
He's
when
been
he talks-
calling him a wannabe the whole time. He hasn't called him one.
Right.
Said he has the talking points of one, but he can't be one because he's not white.
Guys, that's fine. Sneako's not white. Awesome.
All right.
So by your logic, Tariq, you're
Right.
saying
And by the way, Lyndon B. Johnson, I'm looking it up. This guy ain't Jewish. Where is he
he's Jewish, bro.
His mother was a Jew.
No, he's not.
His mother was a Jew.
side-
I'm looking it up right now. His mother was
not
Jewish.
Yes, bro.
Yes,
Yes,
they are.
they don't publicize
No, they're
it for
not. I'm
obvious
looking at
reasons.
it.
Dude,
You white supremacist.
Yep. Did you hear that? They don't publicize it for obvious reasons of what I just told you back in the 60s, why they would not accept a Jewish president.
Tariq, look, if you think that white supremacy is the same as Jewish supremacy, how about this? How about you do an episode on your YouTube channel, specifically YouTube channel, and you talk about the Jews that are white supremacists and you criticize them.
No,
and let's see what happens.
because I don't break white supremacists. No, because that's
See,
ridiculous.
again, they're trying to go him and trying to do something to lose his channel. Right.
Yeah, ain't no better. If you a millionaire, they'll take you down overnight, man.
Supposed to kind of crash out with that garbage so that you can join.
How do you crash
so that
out
you
if they
can
don't have
join?
supremacy?
So no,
Exactly.
because what you do, what the white supremacists, what the Anglo white supremacists do, they will try to use certain Jewish people to crash out black folks, and then you join hands with the Jewish white.
So who's the real supremacist if you don't want to
anyway.
criticize those people?
No. I don't do that. No.
That just proved my
I don't
point.
do that. No. I don't fall for that banana tailpipe. I don't break y'all up in different groups.
You'll break up the Sudanese.
You're right.
You'll break up the
damn right.
Nigerians.
You damn right.
You'll
I'm
say
not falling for that.
Black Americans.
I ain't falling for that. You
bring
damn right.
everybody up, but when it comes to the
I ain't falling for that.
The hypocrisy is
nice
so clear
try.
here.
Nice try. We ain't falling for that.
My point with your answer. Thank you.
They've spent 4.5, almost 5 hours trying to get him to do that, and he still won't. He's already known that's what they were after in the first place.
Yeah, and you pointed that out way earlier. I didn't even catch that, so that's pretty good. That's crazy, bro.
Sudanese.
Right. I don't know.
You
I
ain't
don't
gonna
fall for
separate
that.
Jews, though. Exactly.
No. All of you practice white supremacy.
They're like, come on over to Rumble, Tariq. Come join us. Go ahead and say all the fucked up shit that we've said, so you can look like an idiot like we are.
For that trick that they want to crash out, that means that someone has the power to do something. Because
thank you,
the white supremacy.
Because in general,
you absolutely know that too, Tommy.
Or black folks, if you black. That's why it's messed up that these rappers can say nigga all in their song. But Michael Jackson, one of the biggest singers at the time in which he made, all I want to say is that they don't really care about us.
Care about us.
All he said was "Jew me, sue me, kick me, kike me," and that was enough.
Jew me, sue me, kick me, kike me, and then guess what? He was assassinated.
And where were the non-Jewish
people? Now that is a great
Michael
question that Tariq asked. Why was there no white people trying to? Because it's enough white people in America to where he shouldn't have been able to shut down Nick Cannon.
Right. Because that's the thing. Y'all sit up here and talk about the Jews are the problem.
White people know that the Jews are.
But when a black person,
I gotta tell you.
But when a black person is getting crashed out by white.
Oh, Tariq, they do that to me on my show. I'll be doing my show, and it'll be a random white person come in. I ain't even talking about no damn Jews, and they'll just point out Jews. I'm like, wait a minute. Y'all ain't trying to help me do shit else, but you're trying to help me talk about these Jews. And when they take thing from me, you ain't gonna be there to help bring me up. Why is it that we
exactly?
This? I get that there's a lot of things that I hear that I say.
That was their mission, the whole podcast.
World. Then when I said one thing about white people,
we're gonna set Tariq up. We're gonna get some talking points on him to where he has to admit something against the Jewish religion and the Jews people as a whole, and then we're gonna clip that shit up and get him to lose all his fucking sponsorships. They set him up that whole 4.5 hours, and he just said, "You are not gonna get me to do it."
Nice try.
That whole time, that's all that was. 30-some people in the room trying to set this one man up, and he didn't bite it at all, but kept to his talking points. How many brothers could do that? How many brothers have the information and the confidence to do that?
I would have felt.
Don't let them get you off your game. That's a life lesson right there. That's a life motherfucking lesson right there. You're gonna be in rooms full of people just like that. And you're gonna have to stick to your fucking guns.
Yup. And sometimes you being fair in an argument, you can lose people because of it. We say Myron don't fuck with Tommy not because of it. Yup. So I mean, I don't think Tommy I don't think Tommy really even like Myron like that, honestly, but it is what it is.
I think he's indifferent. I already know he is. He's indifferent to everybody.
Yeah.
He's on his own little fucking program.
When I was speaking about them Jews, y'all all came over here and were down with me. As soon as I said one thing about them whites, I was a nigga like everybody else.
My thing is this.
What happened?
My thing is this.
Mm-hmm.
But just because white people don't support black causes.
No, that's not a black cause. Remember? Hold on. If he's sir, stop you. That's not a black cause. Y'all believe that there's Jewish supremacy and it's running rampant. If a black person's speaking about them, you can't then turn around and say that's a black cause.
Facts.
A lot of people are just sheep. They don't know the truth. They don't know anything because they're styled by the education.
Are you going to ignore what I just said?
Why would they understand that?
Yeah, of course they are.
And also,
you say that there's Jewish supremacy and it's all encompassing. You can't then, when a black person, as Tariq said, crashes out, can't call it a black cause and he's on his own.
Because he doesn't really care about telling the truth. I mean, like Tommy lost his platform, I lost my platform, Myron lost his platform, all calling out the actual power. But Tariq is saying he's not going to speak about it because he really wants.
No, y'all weren't calling out Jews.
White supremacy. I don't break y'all Jewish
exactly.
No, because it ain't. Because it's all white supremacy.
No, you got to be able to call out Jews, though, Tariq. You can't say you don't call them out.
No, fraud. White supremacy encompasses all of it.
No,
thank you. Thank you.
You know,
let me say this, please.
See, they still trying to drag him down into that pit.
No, we're not trying to put you in the tag.
Now that he's healed, previous to what they're doing, it's not gonna happen. I think even if they try
to no, I think he knew it. Like I said, I think he knew from the jump where they were trying to take this shit, because that's when they started focusing on that portion of the conversation.
Yep, and I think even if they attempted to get like a rematch, you know what I mean, like a rematch debate, they're gonna try to do the same thing and try to turn them down. But you know, and I think that's one reason.
That'll definitely be a topic. That'll be a topic on the talking points. That'll be a topic. Hitler and his motions and everything else about his beliefs would be a topic. Every topic would kind of steer him towards the overall conversation of who runs the world.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm trying to say is this, please let me say this.
If we said any other race, he would have been like, yeah, I would do it. He would stand up.
No, because white supremacy.
No, you specifically are defending Jewish people and the race because you know
he doesn't defend them. He just doesn't discuss it. There's a difference.
But here's the thing. Tariq also said Jewish people encompass black people. Don't you know Tariq is pro-black? Mm-hmm. Even in Hitler's book, he was worried about Negroid tendencies or Negroid features or ancestry and within the Jewish race. Tariq is pro-black. Why would he say anything in a negative out loud? When you address family, what do you address family at? Behind closed doors.
You know, y'all doing it. You know, address the house. Yeah,
exactly. But these guys are all dumb enough to think he's going to say it out loud.
Yeah, I kind of
and like Sneako, like Myron, these delusional mixed race people that don't understand where they come from, or if they do, they don't want to acknowledge that they're also black and they're fighting against that. You know, why would he do that? He's not going to do that. He needs to come to Jesus, man, with himself. You know, the fuck?
Yeah, that ain't. You know, I think he's like deep into the Muslim teachings or whatever. So I know that.
Well, that's what he claims now. Yeah, him and also the Tate brothers. They all suddenly converted over to the Muslim religion. You know, and even with that, self-reflection needs to come in. And some of his points, even in the Muslim religion, have nothing to do with a racial type of thing. That's not a racial religion. It's a belief system.
Yeah, I can tell you why
because Muslims include white.
Yep. It's another thing too. Like, you know, Muslims, they believe in like what's the word, an eye for an eye. Where, you know, in the Christian religion, that's not the case. You're supposed to lead with love and those things. So it's like,
you know, there's a happens to be a scripture of turn the other cheek one time. He didn't say how many times you needed to turn the other cheek. He didn't say get abused. And even God was such a God in the Bible, the Bible that we're talking about. He wiped out whole nations, man, woman, and child. He said, leave nobody alive. When he said kill, he meant everybody. And sometimes even the damn animals.
Who you think he was talking about?
Who?
Was he like it? That was in the Old Testament. So who do you think he was referring to when he said?
Yeah, I mean, there was some nations when, like the Wall of Jericho, that whole thing was everybody had to die.
Yeah.
Nobody could be left alive. And that was back in the days of raping and pillaging and making the ones that you conquered your slaves. Yep. He didn't even want them to have slaves like that from that race at all. So you can imagine what that race might have done in God's eyes, that he said that they don't even deserve to live by my own people's hands. Yep. That's some fucked up shit.
And I think, based on I don't want to get too deep into it, but I don't think it's a reason why they don't believe, or they don't follow the teachings of Jesus Christ or whatever, because God pretty much separated himself from because of what they teach and their nature or whatever.
Well, if you think about it, God, if you even think about the Bible and the way it was written, and what Jesus was doing while he was here, and why the Jewish religion won't acknowledge Jesus as the Son of God. Jesus was a fucking radical in their eyes. He went against everything they were fucking teaching. Think about it. He was a fucking rebel.
It makes sense.
He was leading them away from what these Sadducees and these Pharisees, what they were teaching. He was leading them away from that.
Well, it wasn't that he was going against what they were teaching.
That's pretty much what some guys do, when they expose people.
He called out the hypocrisy.
Just like some people
exactly.
did.
He was teaching against their traditions of the way they did things, their structure, their infrastructure. So he was directly attacking the structure of the way the Jewish religion was being held up at that point in time.
But that's because it was corrupt at the time.
Exactly. So people that fight against corrupt nations are considered what? Rebels.
Yeah.
And he was summarily executed for it.
But my point is this: if you, hold on, Tariq, you're a father, and let me tell you something. Your father, by all accounts, a good one. And as being a father, the one thing you have to do is tell your children every place where the problem is going to come from. You try your best to give them all places they're going to be attacked. If you say you love black folks, you won't just give them this general place where an attack is going to come from. You'll give them every specific area, and like you said, how they will attack, whether it's through music and who's doing it.
And I'm very specific, right? And I'm very specific with my words. Notice I don't say white people are fucked up. I don't put all white people in the same bag, because all white people are not racist. I say white supremacy. I'm not going to say Jews are the problem. Jews, I don't say that,
talk
because
about
they're not. There's
Zionism.
Jews who are not
So then
racist.
talk about Jewish supremacy.
Because all Jews are
There's
not
no such thing.
So then talk about Jewish supremacy.
There is no such thing. Those two words don't go together, dumbass.
Because black Jews don't have no supremacy.
Thank you.
Says there's no Jewish supremacy.
There's a Jewish supremacy. They even have it in their Talmud.
Tariq, you won't even talk about them. That proves that they're the supremacy, man. What the fuck?
Because you have black Jews who aren't supreme over anything.
Right. You're actually
Thank you.
So we're talking about white supremacy. You're not going to wiggle your say out of. You're not going to wiggle out of white supremacy. You're not going to wiggle out of that. You're trying to deflect from that. I ain't letting you deflect off that.
Yo, Tariq.
And what's so funny, Myron and some of y'all guys ain't even white.
Exactly.
Question. Just answer question. If there's white supremacy, why are they teaching in colleges critical race theory that all white people are bad?
Because Jewish people run the university.
Well, hold on. Tariq has a really good. Tariq, he has a really good question. I'm wondering that. Where's the white people arguing it? Because should there be some white people in here arguing about the white supremacy and the misnomer?
Right.
Where they at? They look like they got some crash out, like some crash out boys.
It's funny. Your whole platform is built on a lie. You're not even
but where are they? They should be the ones who explain this. And just like if you were having an argument against Jews, I hate when I have an argument against Jews and there's not a Jew there. That's why every time I have one, I like when Jews, especially the Zionists.
And there's one here right now. Gary here's a Jew, but we're talking about Jewish supremacy.
Yeah, no, but we're saying like the white supremacists, where the whites at. Like I had the conversation with Jared Taylor. I had the conversation with Jared Taylor. That's a fair argument because he makes the argument. I had the argument with David Duke. David Duke was one of the ones who talked specifically about Jewish supremacy. Yeah, he does.
And that's why he's still banned on X. He's one of the only people because you cannot criticize them. And Tariq's whole platform with this space exposed is built on
But David Duke is a known KKK guy.
The lie that it's white
the fuck?
Jewish supremacy.
It is white.
He's a different.
Okay, wait. Do you think? Tariq, do you take money from white supremacists?
No.
All right. Do you have any dealings with Jews?
His platform.
No. Who? No, I don't.
Do you have any business dealings with
YouTube
Jews?
channel?
I do not.
Your YouTube channel.
Well, who? YouTube is run by Jews.
This fucking retard. This fucking.
I don't know who runs the retard.
Come on, Tariq.
You are so
know
fucking
that.
stupid, Tariq.
Come on now.
Son, this space you're hosting, this was great.
What exactly are they trying to say? He don't know Jews.
I mean, I don't get the overexcitement of David Duke owning YouTube. There's plenty of people that run racist ass companies, but black people still work for them. Does that mean they're contributing and going along with the beliefs of the owner? No. So what is their point to that?
Yeah, I didn't get.
What is he supposed to boycott YouTube because of who owns it or who runs it?
I don't know.
You still got to get your message out, whether it's on somebody's negative ownership or not. How do you get your message out then? Where are you supposed to go? Because white people own everything damn near. You get what I mean? Here, limit yourself because of this person's personal beliefs. You shouldn't do it. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I mean, if you if they ban me on YouTube and I get a Rumble account, they ban me on Rumble, and I get a X account, they ban me on Twitter. Then I gotta find some way to get my message out there, whether it's bad or good. You feel me? If I truly believe what I believe, so
exactly.
You're a fraud. I'm done.
I'm a fraud because I don't know what white supremacists run that damn YouTube.
Exactly.
What the hell?
Fucking idiots, man.
I don't know who runs YouTube.
Oh
white
my God!
Is not
that
allowed on
that's some kind of gotcha?
It's not allowed on YouTube.
So that's a gotcha. So is that really a gotcha?
No, white supremacy is not allowed on YouTube.
Are you insane?
What is his point? Why are you saying that?
White supremacists all over YouTube.
Give one example. Give one example.
These suspected white supremacists, PewDiePie.
Wait a minute, why PewDiePie? I'm not gonna let no ill speak. I'm not gonna let no ill speak about.
PewDiePie, that's some racist shit. That's documented.
PewDiePie. Why is PewDiePie suspected?
Yes, these suspected white supremacists.
Why is he? No, Tariq, I'm not gonna let you get away with no evil about PewDiePie.
Oh,
my daughter like PewDiePie. I'm not gonna let you get away with that evil, sir.
Man, come on. YouTube is full of these white supremacists.
What does PewDiePie do that's white supremacists?
Lord, wasn't he running around yelling nigga at one point? He's a suspected white supremacist too.
Exactly.
My daughter upset with you now, no?
They up here acting like this is a gotcha. Good Lord.
You gotta be trolling, bro. You gotta be trolling. There's no way.
Yeah, that's a good point that Passport Blueprint brings up. If David Duke, a known white supremacist, runs YouTube, then why are these guys that have racist opinions and spoke out against the Jewish people, how come they've been banned? Because ultimately David Duke has a boss too. And guess who that is? A Jew. That company is owned by another company that owns another company that owns another company. And like I told you originally, there's 4 main families and 4 major companies that own all the companies in the world. So even though a white racist, known racist might own YouTube, ultimately he still has to bend the knee to who? A Jew.
A damn Jew. Yep. All right, I'm gonna play.
You know who runs YouTube, bro.
What don't I want to say?
How about wait, Tariq, are they some direct white supremacists?
So do I do business with the owners of YouTube? What is that? Y'all just these guys don't really have an argument.
There's some direct white supremacists, not suspected ones, but direct. Like they come
Don't you
straight
have
out and
donors
say,
with Jews? Don't you have Jewish donors? Don't you have
What Jewish donors do I have?
Do you?
No, where? What? No,
yes or no? Do you have the Jewish donors?
Hell, where would I get a Jewish donor?
Tariq,
For what?
Tariq,
No.
I gotta ask you this though. Is your wife Jewish?
Why would you ask me that? Why would you ask me that?
Is your wife Jewish?
They're trying to cut off every access to any kind of money that could potentially come in now or in the future based on these statements.
You're not.
You get what I'm saying?
No.
These guys think he's an idiot.
Here's the trolling.
I would have left.
Now you're tapping.
I would have
Lying means I won.
I saw a picture.
Lying means I won.
Is it your wife?
Lying means I won. If
I'm
you're
not
reduced
trolling.
to lying.
God,
I'm asking a legitimate question.
Sir, no, you're not.
I'm asking a
If you're
legitimate
reduced to
question.
lying, no, you're not. You're
he reverse
trolling.
psychology you.
No. You're reduced to
He
lying.
got you with the reverse psychology. He got you.
He did not get anything. What this guy talking about?
I saw your wife. She's white, or she's maybe a long-time girlfriend.
She's white.
Stop. You know good and well my lady ain't white. You're projecting your desire.
She could be as light as me, and he's gonna say she's white.
You want to be white, and that's you projecting your desire.
You're projecting. You're insecure.
That's you projecting your ass off. You know good and well my lady ain't white. My lady is the foundation of Black American queen. You better stop it. You better stop that.
Wait a minute, though. If white
You know,
people are so supreme, then why would they allow a person to, like, if they marry kind of outside of their race? Isn't that a start of something? Like, imagine if, let's just say my wife, if her mother was white, then people would say that the reason I talk bad about black women is because I'm laid up with. They would say my girl is white. They would talk shit about her. They would bring up the fact that my girl is not black. They would say this
Every time. Every time he was in a conversation, they would bring it up.
That's a troll argument. That's not a real argument. That's a deflection. That's not a real argument. That's a deflection.
I can't believe you're like denying Jewish supremacy. That's just crazy.
Okay,
bro.
yeah, that's a tactic that nobody's falling for. That's a deflection.
That's not a tactic. What do you mean?
Everything is a deflection.
Mike from Nevada said, "Is her mother Jewish?"
You're trying
No.
to fit me.
Nobody's Jewish in my family or my wife's family. That's
Oh my goodness, these guys, man,
John from
they
San
just
Diego
don't give
said
up.
it's right.
Right. To the white supremacists, everybody's a damn Jew, according to the white supremacists. That's just a deflection.
According
That's
to
not a
everybody's
real argument.
It's not a
That's
deflection.
John from San Diego wanted to know was your wife's mother white though?
Yeah, my wife's lady's white. Her mother's white, but my lady's black. And
So why do you be talking about them coons and say they be saying, "What are white women at?"
Shit, what does that got to do with my lady?
I know where Tommy's trying to do.
If you're saying
Yeah,
that,
exactly.
they asking what are white women at? Then yo,
So,
come on,
so by United States standards of what's considered a black person, one drop rule still applies. So what? His wife's mother was white, has a black father. That makes his wife white or black?
Man, you are
black.
They
So
don't say
what
whatever
is
they
their
can.
point?
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like I said, they're still trying to throw him in saying something out of order so they can clip that shit up and run it up the flagpole.
Yep.
you know, you said it.
You ain't articulating the
If
argument.
coons say this, then with my logic, your father-in-law be cool.
He might be. I don't know.
I don't get the laughing. That's not funny.
But that ain't got nothing to do with me
It sure don't.
or my black lady.
Well, bro, she's half white though.
So he's a suspect.
But she's black.
Well, she's half white, so she's
But
like
she's
half
black.
foundationally black American.
She's a black lady. And you ain't.
Bro.
But you said white people are,
And you,
Bro, I'm
Jews
blacker
are
than
white.
your
and
wife,
you ain't
bro.
white.
What?
My lady's black and you
I'm
ain't
blacker
white.
than your wife.
No, you're not. No.
Nigga, I'm blacker
No,
than
you
your
ain't.
wife.
No, you
What the
ain't.
hell?
Oh, no, you ain't.
Yo, I'm,
No,
bro, I'm
you ain't.
telling you.
No, you're
I
not.
am. She's half white.
No, you're
She's
not.
half white.
Doesn't
man. I'm
matter.
Sudanese.
You're still not a black American. You are a Sudanese immigrant. There is a difference.
White supremacist.
I thought you would have done better than that.
Dude, you are a Filipino.
That is Myron.
That's Sneako.
Even though he's Sudanese. He's not from America.
Is a Sudanese Arab.
Thank you.
Come on, man.
Look at him.
I'm black.
No, stop it.
He
Tommy.
don't have no white woman. He don't have
Tommy's Panamanian, but we still include him. But Tommy's Panamanian
Myron is a
and
coach.
black. So all of a sudden he's not black?
Myron actually lays in bed with white people. I don't.
Okay. Well,
That's a
you
real
ain't
difference.
better with white people too.
There's
bro.
pictures of Myron in bed with white men. I'm not in bed
They
with
still
white
trying to goat him, man. They still trying to goat him.
men.
Till the end of the podcast, which is coming up. They are still at the last minute trying to just get him to admit to anything.
There's pictures of Myron in bed with white men.
And they couldn't break him the whole 5 hours.
My teammates from college.
Right.
And,
We different, Myron.
Tariq wanted to go there with my, but like, bro, like I have to do what I can, in order for me to uphold, in order to don't get the argument. So he went there with him, but yeah, he laying in bed with. I think that's something everybody already knew about Myron, though. So
Myron, we way different, brother.
No, you know what? Hold on. You know what's funny?
You ain't no
he
pictures.
brought that up way at the end of the conversation that he be laying up in bed with.
Yeah, of course. They're just trying to get that last button. Let's throw the monkey wrench in there to get him off his game at the very end. Talk about his wife that's mixed.
Notice when he said that about Myron, he didn't really have no comeback.
To me, laying up with white people.
No,
Ain't no
let's talk
pictures.
about
Ain't
that.
no pictures of me in bed with white people.
No. Let's talk about that because you got a half white wife and you hate
Ain't
white
no
people. So let's
pictures
go
of
ahead and
me
talk about
in
this.
bed with white people at all. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
teammate or not,
Yo,
nigga, I don't give a damn what team I'm on.
If you put Jews and whites in the same category,
stop with this. Stop.
why do you put blacks and
Please
Africans
stop.
in different categories? Why? Why do you put blacks and Africans in different categories? If you say Jews
That's
and whites
lineage.
Because they are actually different.
All right. Not race.
Okay.
We're talking about lineage.
Yes.
All right. That's different.
Okay.
You're saying that white people and Jewish people are two different races, and that ain't true. You have white Jews and you have black Jews. All right.
Bruh, we're talking about ethnicity.
We're talking about lineage. We're talking about lineage. So yeah, I have a different lineage from somebody from Nigeria. I have a different lineage from Myron. We have different lineages.
Yeah, and whites have different lineages as well.
Right, but they're still white. All right.
Yeah, but no, but you put them together, but you separate blacks and Africans, but you put whites and Jews together. Why do you do that?
Because they're all classified as white. The white
Because
ones are. The white Jews.
white.
The white Jews are.
Okay, but Africans are black.
Right,
as well.
they are. I never said they weren't.
Well, hold on, Tariq.
They're black by color, not black by what we consider black American. That's what they're trying to confuse between the two definitions.
Foundational black Americans. I make a distinction. Foundational black Americans because they make a distinction. A lot of Africans, Africans distinguish themselves from us.
We're Jews slaves.
Just like Myron, I'm Sudanese. I'm not black.
But they were black slaves.
Yeah. As soon as it benefited,
they were mulatto slaves.
Just want to see how much you would actually confess. I just want to see if you could actually say anything objective about Jews. I was trying to figure it out.
Yeah, they were. That's not objective. That was a historic fact. They were Jewish slave owners.
Yeah, I mean, well, Jewish supremacy is a fact as well.
And they worked together with the Confederacy.
See, they're still trying to throw that word in and try to get him to say yes.
Right? The Confederacy. Their whole edict was white supremacy. That's their words, not mine. And the second in command was Judah P. Benjamin in the Confederacy. He was a Jewish guy. So they all worked together. The Jewish white supremacists and the Anglo white supremacists in slavery, and Judah P. Benjamin was a big slave owner. They all worked together. So why should I make a distinction between those guys? And they were all oppressive to me. Yeah.
Now I will agree on that. Like if y'all look at what it is, they don't like blacks, but they will do stuff. Like I didn't like the fact that y'all were saying it's not race, and then y'all turn around and said, look at how the Jews who run the music are doing the things that they do to blacks. Well, that would be direct racism that Jews performed against the blacks, wouldn't it? So
Crickets.
kept killing y'all argument when y'all were talking to it.
Two black dudes got a whole panel cricketing.
Yeah, I believe there
the
were
whole fucking 5 hours.
Black people in the Americas before the white supremacists.
They don't even know their own history, and they're sitting here trying to argue with people that know their history.
Okay. So you're not African.
I have African ancestry. We had an
Thank you.
Your lineage is African.
Yeah, we have African ancestry. Everybody has African ancestry. You have African ancestry,
right? So Jews have lineage as well.
They do, of course. Everybody has a lineage.
Right.
What's your argument, sir? What's your argument?
I thought they're separate from white people.
That didn't hit like you thought it was. That didn't hit on shit. That got you. I don't even get what you didn't even get. You should have landed your point before you. You should have landed your point. That didn't land, buddy. All right, you're kind of running out of steam. Anyway,
I think you're jumping to conclusions.
All right.
You're jumping to conclusions.
Okay,
After 5.5 hours, he's jumping to conclusions. Okay.
So Myron, let's chop up game, Myron. Let's do something, Myron. I would love to talk to Myron in person to chop it up. Tommy, shout out to Tommy. Tommy, when you coming out to LA, man? We gotta go sit down and have
Yeah. Come to find out, my next live just came up to 6. I got an hour for my next live.
You only got an hour left?
Yeah. He moved the time up. I thought it was going to be 8 something tonight. He moved it to 6. I guess he might have tried to tell me, but I've been on this live.
Damn.
But that's all good. Take a little dinner break. Get ready.
Right,
this one's going to be a good one tonight.
Who you going on live with?
The Andrew Show.
Andrew Shaw, my nigga Andrew. Okay.
Yeah. We doing the whole Chris Brown thing. How women can spend $1,000 on Chris Brown, but they get mad at passport bros for going overseas.
Yeah, I seen the thumbnail. I don't know how you make a thumbnail like that, but yeah, I'm gonna tune into that at least for as long as I can, at least, because I'm about to go grab something to eat. But Ronin, bro.
Hey man, it was a good live. Yeah, this is actually something I wanted to sit through anyway, because I wanted to hear the panel and what they had to say to Tariq and see how he stood strong against them. And like I said, that was 8x4 in that room, so that's 36 men up in that room. 2 brothers really holding strong. Really, Tariq on his own, because every once in a while, Tommy would, like I said, he'd play it straight down the middle. Yeah, so good on him. The brother was strong. He held up. He didn't fall in any traps. What's that?
Yeah, man. Darnell, you there, bro?
Is he still here? I can't see, man. You got me on center stage again.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know Mercy. Yeah, is there anything you want to say, like closing thoughts, bro?
Yeah, just I mean, to be honest with you, for the most part, I would have to say Tariq won. You know,
he shut that shit.
I'm sorry.
He blew him out the water, man.
Yeah, I mean, for Sneako to say, okay, there's no such thing as black Jewish people. We know that there are. What else? That Hitler didn't have an issue with black people. We know that he did.
Clearly documented, especially during the Olympics.
It's well documented. I mean, I understand what everybody's saying. Okay, well, he only did that to the Jews, but you got to remember, there weren't that many black people in Germany, if any. There weren't very many black people in Germany,
Besides the ones that came to kick his ass, not only in sports but actually in war, because we definitely were fighting in the battles over in World War II in France and Germany.
But
Yeah.
I'm talking before before the United States, before World War II broke out.
Yeah.
When you had the concentration camps, the ghettos as they were called. And even the final solution. The only reason was, like I said, there really wasn't black people. But I promise you, had Adolf Hitler won World War II, if he did, I can promise you, he would have been exterminating blacks too. We didn't fit.
He wanted blonde hair and blue eyes, and there is a race of black people that do have blonde hair and blue eyes, afros. But
no, it's
over
not.
in
It's not just that. Like my grandmother, she had blonde hair, and blue eyes.
yeah, but we're mixed. I have a family history of blonde hair. My hair was blonde at one point. My hair turns colors even to this day. And a lot of gray-eyed, green-eyed people in my family, but that's because of the ancestral mix that we have in our history.
Yeah.
But
yep. I found out my great grandma was white. I found that out recently. So yeah, I don't know nobody in my family with gray hair and with blonde hair and like gray eyes and shit. I don't know about that. But yeah, man, this shit go deep, man. I didn't even know we was gonna be on this long, but yeah, regardless, man, I appreciate y'all for sticking with me, bro. Especially
no problem,
you, Ronin, bro.
brother.
You heard me for sure, man.
Hey,
yeah,
I'm trying to bag hours. Hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to hit that 1,000, man. Both of us are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Trying to get to that 1,000 and my 4,000 viewing hours. I can't do that if I'm just sitting on one panel at a time. I gotta put in work. You know what I'm saying?
Shit, you putting me up on game if that's the case. I normally don't like hopping on other people's panel because they don't know who the hell I am. I don't think I add a lot of value to the conversation because I'm not too educated on the topic. But I might just have to do that and just put myself out there, in order to get my watch time because I don't really have a lot of watch time. So yeah. So
it's the only way to get it done unless you're going to go live every day. And that's right.
It's impossible.
Right. I can't think of enough topics like that. That's why I don't ride on other people's panels and co-hosting. You know what I mean? As long as I can simulcast.
I mean, you pretty much providing education and content is all that matters, like you did with this panel here. What's his name? For sure, man. Mercy Justice.
Oh, the Andrew Show. Oh, what's his name? Oh, you got to take down the statement, and then you can see his name. That holds back everybody's name, I guess. A Black Baja Tours has a statement at the bottom. Take away that comment, and you can see everybody's name.
So there's another show coming on. You said the Andrews at what time?
The Andrew Show is going to be now 6:05.
Yeah, y'all go tune in to Andrew, man. I'm about to go take a.
That's Central Standard Time. Sorry, it's 7:05 and what East Coast and 4:05 West Coast time. So.
Oh, you gonna be on that show?
Yeah, I'm gonna be a co-host on the show.
Damn, Ronin, bro, you from her to there. Ain't no telling how long you gonna be on his show. This man is.
I already know. It's gonna probably be
like a full-time job.
I've done that. I've done it. I've done 40 hours in a week on different panels, man.
Dang, for real?
Yeah.
Hey,
you gotta put that time in, man.
I see.
I ain't got the
maybe
the link. I mean, not the link, but
fuck that.
Hold on, I'm gonna try to drop it and that's, I don't know if everybody can see that or not, but I'm gonna replicate it in the other live since I'm simulcasting. I dropped it in my room. Now I think I'm gonna be able to drop it in everybody's. That's the next live right there, that link. Whoever's looking at it. Should be a good one.
Yeah,
Andrew's really entertaining, man. So y'all come on in.
Yeah, I need to learn.
I'm gonna go grab something to eat real quick, and thank God I already prefixed my food, so I'm ready to go.
Yeah. All right, y'all. With that being said, I'll holler at y'all the next live, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all, man.
And yeah, is there any last thing you wanted to say, Ronin, bro? I think I kind of cut you off.
No, man, it was a good, like I said, good live. I wanted to hear what Tariq had to say, especially with the mountain of people coming up against him. I think he held his own. He stayed true and consistent with his beliefs and everything else, and didn't really come out of character as many people that were trying to troll him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's all you can do in that kind of opposition. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. I'm going to end it right here. Thanks for tuning in to the next stream.
Yep. Peace.